Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour.
Welcome, everybody. How is everyone doing? I mean, we've got another cracking show lined up for all you guys today. So we're going to delight you to kind of welcome. We've got another Mr. Postman is here today. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. He was just finishing delivering his post. So we had to wait for the
already,
man. And and obviously that was it pretty much. So how is everyone doing?
Behave yourself, Daddy. Behave yourself, Daddy. It's called Mr. Box Office, bruv. Mr. Box Office, bruv. Yeah.
No worries, Postman.
In the building, bruv. Yeah. You know it as well. You know what I mean? Mr. Box Office that talks truth. Doesn't do Twitter because he doesn't do chats and everything else and like that as well. He's spits some truth as well, like, you know what I mean? So let's get it going, bruv. Let's get it going because I've got a lot of fire on my belly at the moment, bro. Honestly, I've got some fire on my belly at the moment, bro. And I'm going to be firing some shots today. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Lovely.
I wonder who's in the firing line today. Let's just see.
Brian, should we go through some of the comments and see who's here already?
We can do. We've got Scott M, who Alex straight away is awesome. Great to see his opinion, hear his opinion, see his opinion. Even if I often disagree with them, we got one of my very good friends from the Odor FASA group, David Bisco. Not sure I can face the rest of the season, guys. If the players don't give enough of I'm not going to swear within the first 10 minutes. It's very clever there to put an effort and desire in games. Why should I be bothered to watch? It's like an animal rights activist constantly watching videos of animal cruelty. We've got Eugene, Mr. Persuasion. Hi, everyone. Big up. I'm not going to read my own comment. It's not over. Commonly Spurs outside. Well, we shall see. From Ronan, who's going to be a very, very happy Liverpool fan right now. We're going to talk about that game. I didn't get to see it, but obviously there's big ramifications for Everton. Big up, my man. Have to say, Ronan is a big supporter of all the Spurs channels. So big up to Ronan. You see, your name has come in a few times. I think you've got a new nickname. And then we got Alex. Why do you know he doesn't call himself Full Ball Mr. Post Office? He calls himself Mr. Box Office, and yeah,
it's called.
Slip my wrists.
It's called the Postman. Thanks to Nick, Ranjit, Barry, Sean, everything else, and everyone I think you want to call him. Because he likes to deliver all the time, Alex. So that's why he's the postman. He never fails to deliver.
Mr. Box Office talks the truth, and people just can't handle it. Like David Harris, for instance, can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? Like the Arsenal fans can't take the truth, but they're actually bang average team. Take Champions League, bruv, all day long, bro. Just get embarrassed next year, bruv. Honestly, all day long. Honestly, I've never heard such absolute waff in my whole life, bruv. Honestly, never heard such absolute waff in my whole life.
I had a bet with my dad on the phone.
I'm going to be reasonably quiet for 10 minutes because I know what I'm capable of doing. But I just read a couple more comments before we go to see how Sean's doing. So, Andy Lloyd, big up, my man. Had the same amount of shots from target this weekend.
Good one.
Why the big difference in the last two games? Well, we're going to discuss that. Kelly JTV, we are not in pole position, but we are still in the race. We're speaking about Amir Manishmahi. Big up, great panel. Come on, you Spurs. Tom81, big up. We've got Eugene again. Alex Real Chicken. I don't even know what that means, but well played. Leave me out. Oh, okay. Big up, all you guys. Big up, Derek. Afternoon, everyone in the panel from Spurs 72. Does Alex prefer waffles or pancakes? The new story out in French version of The Sun is Conte has offered himself to PSG for 2 years. Absolute clown paper. So before we get onto all that, Sean, brother, Spurs Talk Show, how are we doing?
Yeah,
I'm good, Brian. I'm really happy. I've just won a £5. I had a bet with someone, I won't say who, as to whether or not Alex would use the word waffle within the first 5 minutes. And it came in twice, just in time. I was looking at the clock going, come on, Alex, say something waffle.
Well, there's a question in the comments saying, "Oh, do you like waffles? Do you like whatever it was?" Yeah, I like my chicken rice and peas, bruv. I'm Jamaican, bruv. Yeah, yeah. Right. So I know what I like here, bruv, all day long. Yeah, and I can handle my heat. You know what I mean? Like some people can't handle the heat as Tottenham fans. You know what I mean? Like Arsenal fans as well, jumping up and down. They're gonna get top four. It's a trophy, isn't it? It's no, we got top four. We got top four. Oh yes, yes, we got the trophy. Oh
That's
my god,
pretty
how
much,
deluded
bro.
are you, bro?
Nonsense,
Honestly, I've
nonsense,
never heard
bro.
such rubbish in my life.
Alex.
Honestly, I've never
Alex,
heard such absolute waffle in my life. Sorry, waffle in my life.
Alex, you
Honestly.
just did a tamed down version of my rant on the fan show
Yeah,
when we had Tottenham TV yesterday.
So Alex, how are you, mate?
Well, I've got to be honest. I mean, I just what is going on with Tottenham fans at the moment, man? We're crying our eyes out for top four. Honestly,
It's
what
important.
planet are we on?
It's important.
They think it's going to be mystical. We get top four and we get lots of great players in the team. By the way, what's happened to Manchester United? By the way, it's done them really well getting to top four. By the way, getting Champions League. Look how well they're doing at the moment. Look how well they're doing. Bloody hell, they're doing really well at the moment, aren't they? All getting on well. They're in top four, actually going for the championship, aren't they? Championship of not getting on with each other, isn't it? You know what I mean? Absolute nonsense. You know what I mean? I've never heard that waffle from my life.
Finishing top
At the
four
end
is
of
a
the
big
day,
deal.
the best thing for Tottenham at the moment is to get Europa League football. Yeah, that's the best thing for Tottenham at the moment. I've never heard such absolute waffle in my life. The only reason why I would want Champions League is to shut up the people down the road, by the way. Because I'm sorry, that guy coming on at Football Terrace, big up to Football Terrace, by the way, because they're hot at the moment, really hot. It's not having to go at the show, it's having to go at that person that came on. Having to go at us saying they've got the best young team in the world. Best young team that's not going to win nothing, bruv. All day long, bruv. You know what I mean? Not going to win nothing. Not going to win anything with those youngsters, bruv. As soon as they get one injury, bruv, they're done. They're done. They're out of here, bruv. Yeah? And you're having to go at us. Nah, bruv, I'm not having it. Yeah? We might be bang average, but they're my bang average team, bruv. My bang average team, bruv, yeah? All day long, bruv. I've had to watch my team get battered, yeah? When we had George Graham, Christian Gross, I had to watch that dross, yeah? Right, I had to watch Santini stink out the place. I had to see Martin Yo get ripped to shreds. So you having a laugh at my team? And look at your bang average team, bruv. You got Nicola Arteta, which you wanted out a couple of months ago, bruv. Yeah? And we've got a proper manager. A proper manager who's done a miracle, bruv. No, I'm not having it, bruv, man. Bruv, when they're at the Champions League, yeah, they're going to start crying. I'm going to give them tissues, yeah? And they're going to be crying their eyes out, yeah, all day long, yeah? You watch me, bruv. I'm in the mood right now, bruv. I'm in the mood right now, bruv. I'm hungry, bruv, right now, bruv. I'm hungry,
Alex, so
bruv,
let me
man.
just ask you a question, though, mate. You do acknowledge, right, that in the summer, Manchester United are going to have a massive rebuild, right? They're going to be trying to buy every bit of talent they can. You do acknowledge that Newcastle are going to be busy in the market. If we finish top four, if we finish fourth, I know you think that finishing the Champions League places isn't a trophy and that it would be better for our progress to get into the Europa League. But being able to compete with Manchester United in the transfer market this summer, being able to compete with Newcastle is a lot easier if you start off with being able to offer top four and with the minimum 35 million quid extra that you get just from qualifying fourth, even if it means that you finish third in the Champions League and drop into the Europa League, and then you can go on and hopefully do well in the second half of the season in the Europa League. But if you don't acknowledge how much easier or more difficult it will be for us to improve our squad, finishing fifth versus finishing fourth, then I've never heard such waffle in all my life, bro.
Well, sorry, Sean, you're talking waffle, bruv, again. All I need to say is, Sean, is Leicester City. Leicester City.
Leicester?
Oh, you can't stand that, lane, can you? Leicester City. Yeah?
What about them?
Right, well, look what they're doing now, bruv. They could get a second trophy in a year, bruv.
They're finishing
right? That's bloody Bob boiling, bruv. Second trophy in a year, bruv.
They're 12.
And what are we doing? Trying to get Champions League. Trying to get Champions League. What's Champions League going to do, bruv? What's Champions League going to do?
That's a chance.
Taking part, yeah. It's like taking part. Oh, right, bruv. I've seen people take part in things. Oh, that's really good, bruv. It really gets you somewhere in life, bruv. I want to win things, bruv. I want to win things. Not Carabao Cup, so I want to win the FA Cup. You know?
It's easier to do that if you have good talent.
I'm not having it. No. I'm a winner, man. I'm a winner.
Alex,
no.
Alex, I'm gonna have to say on this.
Brian, before you said that, you sounded like a radio on repeat, like a broken radio when you were trying to interrupt Alex.
Alex, Alexa. But listen, I think honestly, I am completely with Alex on this. It's 2 trophies, which is I want trophies more than top 4. As I've said it all along, that's what this club is based on. We're all talking about top 4, whether we get it or whether we don't. That's not a thing. But now we're here. Let's have a discussion about yesterday's game. And obviously, Sean and Danny, I'm going to let you 2 go first because obviously you did a superb job at the watch along. You got to see it, and I'll tell you what, mate. It was like, do you know what? It was when I did a game with John Cooper, and it was the Wolves game, but it wasn't on Sky, so we had to. There was nothing to commentate on, so it was so boring that you got talking and everything. It was one of those days, but you did a great job. What was now you reflect on it and you did your first watch along. What are your overall thoughts of the game? Then we'll go to Alex, and then we've gone past 10 minutes. I'll have my rant.
Well, I mean, look, like yesterday. So there were certain points. I think there were certain comments in the stream. We were like, "Oh, we need to commentate more," and we tried to do as best as we could. Sean is a better commentator than I am, anyway. But like Sean was saying, it was one of the most boring games you could ever commentate. Like literally, we had fucking nothing to commentate about. Like it was pathetic.
The ball was getting passed around the centre circle.
All we were saying was Bentancur's passed it back. Dyer's passed it back. It's just like back pass commentary the whole game. That's what pretty much it was. And then the odd occasion where they'll pass to the wing and then the Brentford players just surround a player and then win the ball back because we couldn't do anything with it because we were just outnumbered, like up the top of the field. And it's just it was again a lackluster, pathetic performance, to be honest. And again, it was a performance of no hunger, no desire, no passion. It was lethargic. It was static. They didn't move around. They didn't want to move around. They weren't playing to win to get into the top 4. They were playing just to finish the season and go and get fucked up and go on their holidays. That's what they cared about, really. To be honest, the way they played yesterday was if they were playing just to get their weekly paycheck. It was a disgrace. The only players you could say, the only positives you can take from that game was Romero and Ben Davies were the only positives from that game who had a decent performance. Everyone else was pathetic. Emerson shouldn't even be a professional footballer. He is a joke. I don't know how. I had rival fans messaging me saying, how is this guy playing professional football? Like, honestly, it's ridiculous when you're getting bantered by the people because of how bad this guy is. And it's like these are teams from clubs that are like nowhere near our level, and it's like they can see how bad this guy is. It was just pathetic. And I think yesterday for me, I think it shows how much we've missed Matt Doherty. I think we're missing him big time. And I said it. I fucking said it. I said that as soon as one player comes out that team that was winning, as soon as one player, we're done. We're finished. The season's done. And I stuck by that. And even yesterday, I was saying to Sean, my heart was saying 2-1 Spurs. My head was saying draw. It was saying draw because I knew what this team's about.
Yeah, I know. And everyone's gonna. I know Brian's gonna. Resume the. Who's responsible for the lackluster squad and all that stuff. And I know we're going to get into that. But when you have a squad that is what it is, and you're trying to play a formation that requires the 2 most important roles in the team to be held by 2 players that can't play in that position, that weren't signed in that position, and there is the opportunity to adapt the squad that you have into a different formation that allows your most creative players to play and allows those players that are the weakest in the side right now, i.e. Reguilon, Orsès, or Emerson, to fall back into the positions they were signed to play. There are other options. There is a plan B alternative. It might not work, but this ain't working. And so if everyone's going to give Conte a pass and say, oh, he's only got what he's got to work with. You're right. He does only have what he has to work with, but there is another way that you could work with what you have, and he's choosing not to do it. And when this guy's getting paid 350 grand, 400 grand, whatever it is he's getting paid, the number one paid employee of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, then I expect this guy to be able to adapt. He's inflexible. I love him. I want him to stay. This isn't something me saying Conte out. I'm just calling it as I see it. Yes, we can look to the end of the season and say, Daniel Levy, you've got to rebuild. You've got to spend. It's last chance saloon. And even for some people, he's already far gone last chance saloon. But we only have what we have for the next 6 games, 5 games, whatever it is now. And if he doesn't change something against Leicester and whatever it is, and we can talk about the options there, whether it's a formation change, a tweak to the tactics, a substitution here or there. If he doesn't change, if it's the same bullshit coming out against Leicester, I'm going to be really pissed off. And my venom is going to be initially at Conte, because I can't do anything about Daniel Levy until he proves us right or wrong in the summer. Conte needs to adapt. And that's where my venom is right now. He's very, very, he's not. There's no dynamism to his methodology, and it's fucking frustrating. Go Alex or go Brian.
No, Alex, just before you go, Alex, just before you go, I'll let you go. I just want to say, no, I've just got to do this because Ryan McFarland, who is a very, very big supporter of the channel, it was his birthday yesterday, and I was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, please, Spurs, don't ruin my birthday." And this is why I'm so lucky that I was born in June, because Spurs can't do it to me. I can't have Tottenham ruin my birthday. So, Ryan, I know the result wasn't good. I know, obviously, the fallback from all the Spurs channels and the Twitter, whatever. But I hope you had a good birthday, non-Spurs related, and many happy years to come, brother. Alex, shoot.
Okay, so let's go back to January when everybody was so up and up saying that we had such a fantastic January, by the way, absolutely fantastic January. We let go of Ndombele on loan, we let Lo Celso back on loan, and we let Dele Alli on a free. And we brought in 2 players, 2 rejects. Oh, it's a fantastic summer. Pratigy's absolute don, isn't he? Absolute don. I can't believe it. Oh, he's such a don, isn't he? So now we're saying that we're short in midfield all of a sudden, aren't we? I've never heard such absolute...
You would have kept him. So you would have kept Ndombele.
Well, if we're short in midfield, bruv, you keep your midfielders in, don't you?
I would have kept Lo
Celso.
I would have kept one. Lo Celso.
That's what you do. You keep your midfielders, don't you, when you're short, aren't you? But we didn't. We just let go of Dele Alli because he's useless to us, by the way. And we let go of Lo Celso because Lo Celso's useless, by the way. And we let go of Ndombele because he doesn't run for the team as well. Oh, brilliant business from Pratigy, though. Absolutely fantastic business from Pratigy, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
But the question was about the game. The question was about the game, mate. Well, what about the game yesterday? What would you have done differently?
Well, Bob, he's not going to change it, isn't he? He's not changing.
Why not?
Like I said, after Southampton, right? He didn't change it then, and it was quite clear he's sticking to his methods. Yeah, and the thing is, though, whether we agree with it or not, he's not going to change. Because the thing is, though, if you knew this already, don't get him in. Don't get Conte in. That's it. Simple.
One-trick ponies.
There's no point of going on about saying, "Oh, we should change it. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this." At the end of the day, and I'm not defending Conte, but the fact is, he's won championships. He's looking at it and sitting there thinking, well, don't talk to me, mate, because look at my record. I can just say to you, bye-bye, PSG. Bye-bye.
Well, what does that tell you about him then? If that's
we're dealing with an ego, it's not the thing is, though, we were the ones that were begging him to come to Tottenham in the first place, Bob, not the other way round.
Yeah.
So his reputation is sitting there saying, well, do I really need this? Bye-bye, PSG.
Well, so you think he's given up?
Well, no, I haven't said that. I'm not saying that. You're trying to
understand what you're
my
saying.
Word there. My point is that Antonio Conte has won everything he's won, and he's got a system in place. He's got his own mind at the end of the day. He ain't changing. I knew that after Southampton. When it was clear that we needed free in midfield, but he wasn't changing after that.
Do you think we've become predictable?
We are predictable, so we're KNFC. I told you we're KNFC.
We're not KNFC.
Look who didn't play well yesterday.
no one played well yesterday.
No one played well
yesterday.
But who could get in the game yesterday? Who couldn't get into the game yesterday? Kane couldn't get into the game yesterday. Not blaming him. He's just outgrown our team. He's just outgrown our team.
It was everyone yesterday.
He's outgrown our team 100%. But when you can't get Kane into the game, the whole team doesn't play.
Yeah, why didn't Kane come deep?
And then the thing is, then we get stupid comments saying, "Oh, we missed Doherty." Really?
Yeah,
really?
Really?
Really? No!
That's the most obvious thing in the world.
Sorry, I'm not having it. No,
Alex, hold on. Let me, Alex. Why?
No. People's headphones falling off their heads.
Why, Alex? Why do you think we're not missing Doherty then? Because for me, right, what he's done, what we've lacked since he's been gone is energy and the cohesion and the know-how of what everyone's supposed to be doing. Because
trust.
And the trust, because that's the key thing, right? It's the trust, and that when you have trust, it breathes confidence, right? They don't look confident anymore, and they look like there's lack of trust because they're not passing the ball to Emerson anymore. He's standing on the wing, and they just don't want to pass to him. And also Kulusevski in the last 2 games since Doherty's been out, he's looked like completely like nowhere to be seen because. The thing with Doherty was he was playing these little 1-2s, these little intricate passing, and these little give and goes, right, with Kulusevski, and it was them two had a really good relationship. But the thing is, they don't now, and because Emerson is shit. So how can you not say that Doherty's not caused us to play the way we're playing in the last 2 games? Because to me, it's one of the biggest reasons why we're playing like this, and also the fact that because of the lack of trust, right. The team are taking far too much time on the ball, and they're not playing quick, intricate passing, right? Which is then allowing the team to put more bodies around our players, like Harry Kane, to stop him playing. Because as soon as they've stopped him, right, at the moment, it looks like we've got no one else who can create. When Doherty was playing, he was bursting into the box. It was giving us options. So Kane was dropping deep to find all the runners, right? Now, we haven't got no wing-backs are bursting into the box. Sessegnon, Reguilon, or Emerson, I haven't hardly seen them in the box in the last 2 games. And
Sessegnon, I think that's a bit harsh. I think Sessegnon's
he hasn't.
Well, Sessegnon's a bit arse. He's been injured, and I think he's actually.
I'm saying the last 2 games, Alex. I'm saying the last
2 games, he hasn't even had that much time anyway on the pitch, anyway.
Yeah, but
to be honest,
in the last game he played, right? In the last game he played, and then the last game before that was Reguilon, right? Both of them hardly got into the
Reguilon has been rubbish. Reguilon's been rubbish, yes. But Sessegnon. Right.
So that tells me, Alex, it's even more crucial that we've missing Doherty because the way he was playing.
I think Doherty's.
Alex, it's not a coincidence that he's got 4 assists and 2 goals in that run-in.
Yeah,
right?
but when
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Right, it's not a coincidence because he got those numbers. It's because of the way that Conte plays his system, and he even said himself when he was playing with this form, he was saying he was by far the most improved player since he came into Tottenham, and he was enjoying him more than any of the other players because he was the one listening to him the most in terms of what he wants from that player in that position. And Doherty was doing everything that Conte wanted, right? And that is why we were able to have this expansive football on the break and stuff like that because they were getting into the box. Doherty was in the box he was like a striker most of the time, right? In the Newcastle game, in the Villa game, in the Everton game, he was like a striker half the time. So
just one second. I just want to reach out to someone. Eugene, where has this been confirmed? Because this may take a drastic turn of events. Because I can't see it on Sky Sports. So if you've got that concrete, let us know. Go on, Dan.
So I mean, look, it's not a coincidence the fact that the way we've played in the last 2 games has definitely affected us in a massive way because Emerson can't do what. Emerson cannot do what Doherty's been doing in the last few games or last 5 or 6 games. So it's like I generally a lot of us maybe thought Emerson might be able to cope with it. We might be able to cope to the end of the season with Doherty being out. But obviously the last 2 games that tells us we can't cope because we haven't had a shot on target.
Not a right wing back. But maybe if you played him in the position that he was signed, I'm not any kind of proponent of Emerson. I think the guy's useless, and if we are going to stick with Conte, if he does hang around for another season, and the 3-4-3 or the 3-5-2 is his preferred method of football, so be it. Then Emerson's got to go. But horses for courses. Well, why are we fitting a squad around a formation than a formation around a
Why?
squad?
I'll tell you why, Sean. Because he doesn't trust the fucking shit trust we have in our team, right? He can't go a back four because Dyer cannot play in a back four. Romero covers.
Okay, we'll put Sanchez next to Romero then maybe.
Yeah, but he's just as bad. He's not good on the ball. He's shit. Right.
By the way, Danny, you're talking absolute nonsense.
No. Alex, look, listen to this. Yeah, you're talking nonsense, right? Because the reason why we haven't conceded the amount of goals we were conceding before with Nuno is because with Nuno we were playing a back four. Dyer cannot play in a back four. Ben Davies cannot play in a back four, right? Romero can play in a back four.
Emerson
Sanchez
can't play in a back
four, right? Emerson, it doesn't matter. Forget him. We're talking about the back three.
Reguilon can't play with a back in a five.
The reason, yeah, but Sean, we're still not conceding vast amount of goals, right? Brighton, we only lost 1-0, right? We didn't lose 3 or 4-0, right? And the difference is, if we're playing a back four, we will get taken apart by these teams because we have less bodies in that defense, right? For the players like Romero can't cover all of them, right? Davies cannot play in a back two. He's never played in a back two before in his whole career, only in a back three. And when one time he played for Tottenham as a captain in the Europa League against Jose Mourinho in a back four, we fucking lost the game, right? Last season. Right?
If we continue the way we're going against Leicester, it's going to be another 0-0 ball draw. We'll draw our way to the end of the season.
Sean, the problem is, I get what you're saying, right? I completely understand what you're saying, right? And I would like to see him change it. But the thing is, I understand why he's not doing it because he does not trust those players to play in a different formation. Okay. Because they are far worse in that formation than they are now. Now they're bad now, right?
We don't need what he's looking at is back four. We can just change the personnel. Take out Emerson, maybe go something crazy and put fucking Romero at right wing back and Emerson at right sided centre back, or put Kulusevski or Lucas Moura, or do an inverted right wing back.
Yeah, you could do that.
Anything.
I agree with that.
Okay, Danny, can you just put the screen on so it's just me? So thank you, Ronan. Ronan O'Donnell's just said something now. This looks like it is going to be pretty much official. I don't know if you can see that. That's from Footy Accumulators.
That's the worst. That's like the Sun in France. It's such a bad newspaper.
You reckon?
Yeah, they're the ones who reported that Conte wants to go to PSV.
Oh, then fuck them.
Yeah, it's a load of shit. It's a load of rubbish.
Fuck them. You can take me off the centre stage right now.
Bob Spurs says something underneath Snake's comment. Bob Spurs saying that Emerson can't tackle. I thought Emerson was the only aspect of his game that was pretty good was his defensive.
You can't even do that,
he was decent in the air. He got rid of quite a lot of the
air. He's good.
I think Emerson's just needs time. I think he needs time. But I think the whole thing with Doherty, I do agree with what Danny to an extent, but I think we're going over the top about Doherty. I think we're going way over the top about Doherty. I think he's had his time and he's done well, but I think it means that other players need to step up as well. You know what I mean? And also, to be honest with you, Doherty, he's been playing in the back five before with Wolves, so he's used to that sort of thing anyway. So he's made for that sort of formation anyway. So he's gonna excel in that sort of thing anyway.
As a right wing back, yeah.
Exactly. So to be honest with you, I think it's a bit over the top what we're going on about Doherty. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he is doing well, and you've got to give him credit. He's done really well, and he has made an impact. Yes, he has. But I wouldn't go as far that we miss him. No, you know,
if his absence is not the reason why we struggled against Brighton and Brentford, but yet we beat the 4 teams previous when he was in.
Yeah, we needed some more width. We did need some more width against Brighton. We did need some more width against Brighton, and we did need some more width against Brentford because through the middle we were getting blocked off. Obviously, that's a point, but it's for other players to step up and start to, you know, use them in different positions, and that's it. Like maybe use Kulusevski down the right, maybe, and then try and use some because Bergwijn hasn't even had a chance as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing that you could do, you know, because you know at the moment you know you're just putting everybody in round holes at the end of the day. So if I've got that wrong, that saying, but this is the point. You know, you need to do something anyway. You know, to give us a fighting chance in the game.
Can we all agree? Can we all agree if the formation and the team sheet looks the same against Leicester as it did against Brentford or against Brighton, then we should all be fucking like going, what's going on here?
So
something has to change.
You know what?
Something has to change.
He needs to change something anyway. He needs to use because at the end of the day, those wing backs, I still give Sessegnon a chance because I think Sessegnon is very good. It's just that he's just getting into it. He's been injured. Let's give him some time. You know what I mean? Because he was doing well before he got injured. You know what I mean? He was doing much better than Reguilon. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be harsh on Reguilon, but
he was.
you know, he isn't doing it. I don't even think he was doing it last season, to be honest with you. I think we're just going fascination because he just came from Real Madrid. But the point is that, you know, we need to see more of people trying to drag, because the thing is, though, we can't just rely on Kane and Son and, you know, Kulusevski. It was always going to fall down. You know,
Okay.
when I saw that thing on Sky Sports about the 3 strikers, I was just like, here we go. Here we go.
We're 30 minutes in. I haven't said a damn word. I haven't ranted. This is the longest I've ever gone without saying leave me out.
Brian, before we start, let's finish this discussion. And then
okay, but I just want to say, whilst this is happening, I just want to say, big up to this man and his family. Just become a brand new father. Had a beautiful baby daughter late last night, or I don't know with the time difference if it was early this morning. But Josh, mazel tov, congratulations, whatever you want to say to you, Tash, Winter, your other 2 sons. I can't remember their names, and all your family on the newborn. They have called her Lily. You've brought her in to be a Spurs fan. What a wonderful time to be a Spurs fan. What a wonderful time to bring her in. Don't buy her anything from the club shop. But yeah, go on. I'm going to let people finish, but then I'm going to go, and I am going to go big. so Alex, carry on, brother.
I might go and get my forks from the kitchen just to defend myself from those knives that are about to come out.
I think you should, Sean. You need a shield, mate. Alex, go on. Do you want to finish what you were saying, brother?
Well, no, I'm just saying that I just think we're just going over the top. I think other players need to step up. The thing that is unfortunate, I think this is where John McDermott. It was John McDermott. I don't know if everybody knows this. This guy called John McDermott, who used to be the youth director at Tottenham, and I don't know whether since his departure, we haven't seen a lot of youngsters come through. You've only seen Ollie Skip, but Ollie Skip has been touted for a very, very long time, to be honest with you. And it's unfortunate because you're not seeing youngsters come through anymore now for Tottenham, which is really frustrating for me because I think for me at the moment, that position, wing back, would be perfect for a young player just to use that position and just go. You know what I mean?
I'm up for it.
You know?
Lavinier, right? If he's
I think it's very frustrating for me that you haven't got any youngsters that can take that position. I think it's very, very frustrating for me at the moment.
Lavinier, or whatever his name is, he's 21 years old, right? He's same age as Kulusevski. At some point, these guys have got to be given a chance, and it can't get much worse than Emerson.
True,
can't get much worse than Emerson.
I agree with that. I mean, I think most of us would probably agree with this. I think that Bergwijn should play as that right wing back. Just give him a go because if you want someone who's going to get into the box, right, and he's actually pretty good when he's in and around the box. Usually, I know he's a bit hit and miss at times, but he's usually quite decent in and around the box. And if you play him as that right wing back where he's further up the field, then you at least have maybe the left wing back, like one of them give and go, so one of them will go, one of them stays, one of them goes, one of them stays in terms of the wing backs. I think that could work, but I just don't think Conte is going to trust changing a player to play in a position he hasn't played in before in this running.
Well, okay, how about this one then, right? You could go, like the idea of putting Sessegnon as an inverted right back, right? It works as long as the guy in front of him, in this case it would be Kulusevski, one of the two. You can't have two people that are left-footed that both want to come inside.
That's the problem, though.
If you want to try Sessegnon, then you could take out Kulusevski and put in a Bergwijn who's right-footed and wants to go down the byline, or a Lucas Moura, and then I don't want to see
Lucas Moura on the wing.
Okay, Lucas fine. Well, I'm just saying,
on the wing.
There is an option to put Sessegnon at the right wing back spot.
Yeah,
that would only work. It's just an experiment, but it would only work if the guy who's more advanced on the right-hand side is someone who's right-footed. You can't have two left-footed players always trying to pull in. It would suck the game too narrow, and it would also create too much on the overlap for Leicester. On their left.
That's the first thing I agree with you, Sean, today. That's the first thing I agree with you, Sean, today. To be honest with you, I can give.
I better change my opinion then, because if we share the same opinion, my opinion is wrong.
I've just got to say, before I actually go, it's now breaking in the Sunday Times that he's on the brink of being sacked. So I don't think this is now the Sunday Times UK.
You know what? You can fucking see it. Conte walk in. We're gonna get Poch back, and every fucking deluded Spurs fans be like, "Oh yeah, we got Poch back! Woo!" And they're gonna fucking start coming and jizzing their pants. Honestly, I don't want to see Poch back. I just don't want to see. If he comes back, we are done as a club. Because what it means is, it means that Levy is using Pochettino's love for Spurs, right? To bring him back, to cover over the Conte, this elite manager walking out of our club because we don't want to match the ambitions to win a fucking Premier League title. That is literally what it's telling us. And if no Spurs fan can see that, then you all deluded. Obviously.
Well, if Conte just wants out anyway.
Right? Conte wants out, Sean, because he wants to win trophies.
Yeah, okay, but if Conte wants out before,
okay, go
on, mate. Yeah, go on.
I can tell you now categorically as fact, gospel, Antonio Conte does not want to leave Tottenham Hotspur. He is looking for a house in Tottenham. He does not want to leave.
Okay, perfect.
What I do know, and Danny, you're gonna have to man the comments while I go on this little rant here, and then I'll go back into the game. Is what I can confirm as well is he is already arguing with Levy about the amount to be backed, not like a substantial amount, about the players he needs and people being at the age. That argument is happening now. It's not a full-blown war on whatever.
How do you know that?
I'm not going to say that on screen, but I can tell you that I can 1 billion% guarantee it. And as you know, I won't say shit just for the sake of saying it. He does not want to leave. He does not want to leave.
Do you know why, Brian? Do you know why? Just sorry to interrupt you. You can continue, but I think I can see that, right? Because Conte's a man who loves winning things with teams that are the underdogs, right? He gets more passion he gets more fulfillment from his achievement, right? If he was to go and win a trophy with Tottenham, who haven't won a trophy for a long time, right? If he went and won an FA Cup with Spurs, it would be like the biggest achievement he could imagine, because to do it with a team that doesn't categorically or historically haven't won things in the last 20 years, right? Or 30 years, or haven't won a major trophy in like 40 years nearly, right? It would be huge. It would be absolutely massive. And you can see that he loves the club. He loves the fans. He loves Harry Kane. He loves Son. He loves some of the players there. But he just wants to be given the right players, right? And it's like it's not even like 50 million pound players. Like, just go and get me a 20 million pound right back who can do what I want him to do, right? And I will make him work. That's literally what he's asking.
Why are we presuming that that's not something that's we already bought a 25 million pound right back?
Yeah,
last summer
for Nuno.
Yeah, okay, but that's what I'm so like. But why? But like, I can feel the energy.
Yeah, but you got no. What you got to remember,
it's like there's a presumption. There's a presumption that Daniel Levy won't do that.
What you got to remember is when we bought Emerson, we bought a very, very young Brazilian, and people like De Vrij aren't young, aren't resale value, aren't within the model that we buy. But let's get away from this. I mean, unfortunately, this narrative is going to be addressed as soon as it comes official that Poch is sacked, and this rumor with Conte being offered to PSG. You can't help it, whether it's true, whether it's not. The rumors are going to circulate but let's get back to yesterday. I am going to give some of the blame to Conte, but only a little, because this 3-4-3 in these games is not working. In games where we needed to win and we knew Arsenal had won, what we need to do,
Isn't the Met Office the weather people? That's the weather people, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a storm coming in. Trust me. So like I said, this is what he should have dropped one for Højbjerg or Bentancur, who were very, very ineffective yesterday, and go ultra attacking. Like you said, Sean, at one point, I'd rather go down losing, saying we tried, rather than just stick with that point. Where Conte does not take blame is he's got no one to replace Emerson. And if you do, it's playing Bergwijn, Lucas, or Kulusevski there. That's not their trained position. That's not their position. He has to play Emerson by default. We're playing a left wing back, Sessegnon, who I like Alex prefer. But if we play Reguilon, that's a left back playing at left wing back. That's a right back playing at right wing back. He has no options what to do. We need to go attacking. Now, the reason that he has to stick with this is because he does not trust the players. And the reason he doesn't trust the players is because, once again, we brought in Nuno, got rid of 12 players, bought in 5 in the summer. Out of that 5, I think we can all agree only 1 is good, and that's Romero. Brian Hill, where is he? Out on loan. We won't talk about Galini. Let's not talk about Emerson. And Pape Matar is still in Metz. Can't do anything about it. January comes when we all know that the creativity comes from his wing backs. Do we buy a wing back? No. Do we wait 28 days to strike? Yes. We get rid of 4 players. Now, where I agree about it's getting rid of them, but the thing is, we got their attitudes out. But we already got rid of 12 and brought in 5, so we're 7 down. Then we got rid of 5 and brought in 2, and we're another 3 down. That squad is weak. People were saying that these 2 that have come in, because of them, that's it. Season done. Top 4 is guaranteed. No. They've made a big impact, but it's not enough. And when push has come to shove yet again, we have fallen short. We should have been, if we looked at all these results, where we thought Brighton we were going to wallop, and I was one of them, and then Brentford, which I said all along was going to be a draw for weeks, we should have been 3 points ahead of Arsenal. Yes, we thought they were going to lose to Manchester United and Chelsea, but what do you know? They pull it out the bag. So when it comes down to it, once again, we are falling short. And this falls at one man and one man only. And again, like Alex says, Conte is not a Don. He is not a Don. The only things he's done good is brought in Romero and had a huge part of bringing Conte in. And anyone that says, oh, no, that was Levy, he turned Levy down. And people who will watch me and Danny would have seen it break, as Danny and I said, last season, the second the season ticket renewal date finished. And as soon as that expired, we were on Matt Hayes' channel. Within an hour, bang, Antonio Conte, done, dead, whatever the fucking agenda was, whatever the thing was. It is absolutely.
Brian,
yeah,
you're doing the thing. I love you to pieces. You're doing the thing that you always do, which is allocate all the blame towards Daniel Levy and none of the praise, and allocate the praise elsewhere but none of the blame.
Show me where to praise him.
I'm saying when you say that, like, all of those signings that we let go of or didn't sign or did sign, you say there's only one man to blame for that. That's Daniel Levy, right? But so it's not the directors of football. Hang on, it's not the directors of football that have made those. Daniel Levy didn't go and scout Ndombele. He trusted the people that he employed, right? Daniel Levy didn't know whether Lo Celso was going to be a good player or bad player. He trusted the people that he employed. So if you're going to allocate the blame for the failures of transfers that was signed but didn't work out at Daniel Levy's door, then you also, if you're going to do that, if you're going to make that claim, and it's an okay claim to make, that the buck stops at the top. If you're going to say that everything bad that's fucked up, that hasn't worked out regarding our transfer policies over the years, ultimately is Daniel Levy's fault, then everything that's good on the pitch should also have to ultimately be Daniel Levy's responsibility as well. You can't say it's Conte's. The reason we got top 4 chances is Conte, but the reason we're not going to make top 4 is Daniel Levy. The reason why Lo Celso was a shit player is Daniel Levy, but the reason why we got Conte is Paratici. You can't allocate blame the way you want to.
My rebuttal to that straight away is that his end of season address in the Aston Villa programme, we have spent 250 million badly, which he blamed on his scouting network. Did he sack any of them?
We're going through that process now, aren't we?
But that's the process now. But if ENIC have a managing director that lose 250 million pounds worth of property, do you reckon they get a 6-month repeal?
No, we had this conversation last time. My point is that if you want to allocate blame for on-the-field problems to Daniel Levy, then everything that's been good about Tottenham under Daniel Levy's tenure, you have to also act like if it's all at if the guy at the top is responsible for everything, then all that's bad is his fault. Fine, but all that's been good is his fault. All that's been good is at his feet as well. And you don't do that. You say when we got to the Champions League final, it was Poch or it was luck. When we signed Kulusevski and Bentancur, well, that's because of Paratici. When we signed Conte, that's Paratici. But when we signed Ndombele, that's Levy. You're cherry picking where to allocate responsibility, and you can't do it. Or if you are going to do it, you need to do it in a consistent way, and it's disingenuous.
I'm a big fan of Daniel Levy. I love Daniel Levy.
I can do this for 21 years.
I love Daniel Levy.
But before Paratici, with Frank Arneson, with Kamoli, with Baldini, with Paul Mitchell, who left because of Levy.
Oh, I love Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy's done so much in my life.
We got to six finals, semi-finals, whatever it was. One of that is also Daniel Levy.
That's the problem, Sean. When we get to these finals, we don't get it over the line. And instead of saying, do you know what? You've taken us as far as we can go. We're going to upgrade on you. We've given these players new contracts to stop going out.
You're not crediting him for.
I love Daniel Levy. The fact that Leicester City are doing better than us all day long. I love the fact that West Ham are doing better than us at the moment.
If you're good enough to get to the final,
I love the fact that we're bad to FC.
To get the next step, right? Or if you're not good enough to get to the final, if we're good enough to beat Manchester City, we should be good enough to be able to beat Burnley. We should be able to be good enough to be able to beat Wolves.
Honestly.
You have to allocate blame in a consistent way. Otherwise, it looks like you're pushing an agenda and a narrative. That's the only. I'm not Levy in or Levy out. I just take a little bit of. I listen to the argument, and I find there's so many holes within the consistency in which it's delivered, which is why I take the stance that I do. I find that if you could be consistent with it and say, if everything's his fault, then everything that's good is also his fault. If everything's bad is someone's fault that he's employed, and maybe he employed them for too long, I'll agree with you. But
let me give you some consistency, Brian. Let me give you some consistency. Let me help Brian out because I let you get some consistency. Let's give some consistency to the argument because Mr. Box Office needs to talk some truth into this guy. Let's go there now, bruv. Yeah. Maybe I'll give him a little bit of that. The staging's really good at the moment. You know what I mean? Because Manchester United are trying to get our developers, by the way. So I'll give him that. But when we look at the football side, look at Leicester City at the moment, bruv. The team that you can't stand, bruv, to hear from my mouth at the moment, bruv, yeah?
I like Leicester.
The Premier League, bruv, yeah? And we won nothing. We won the Carabao Cup. Okay, look at West Ham at the moment, bruv, yeah? Look at Wigan.
What about West Ham?
Win the FA Cup. Wigan Athletic, bruv. Win the FA Cup, bruv. Well, we won the Carabao Cup, bruv. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? But we still got top four, though, haven't we? We've got the Champions League, haven't we?
No, wait a minute. You're making my point for me.
Alex,
got it all.
You're forgetting the Audi Cup, mate. Audi Cup, the runners-up in the Champions League. We got runners-up medal, mate.
I got Mr. fucking cut your wrists, Scott M in the comments saying, like, I was talking nonsense because if you're not good enough to get to the final, it doesn't mean you're good enough to win it. Wigan Athletic won it. Portsmouth won the FA Cup. Middlesbrough did, right? All those teams are not better than Tottenham, but they got there. They made it happen. They won it. So on any given day, on any given match day, shit can happen. And Tottenham were good enough to get there. Every year we get to a semi-final.
We overachieved with Poch.
And we're not advocating people to cut the wrist, by the way. We're not advocating that, by the way. We should say that, but we're not advocating to cut the wrist, by the way.
That we overachieved. It's Daniel Levy's fault that he didn't back him. It's Daniel Levy's fault that we didn't buy anyone for 18 months. It's Daniel Levy's fault.
We were building a stadium for £1 billion, mate.
I showed you the article when Daniel Levy came out and said
things changed. That article was written like 6 months before the price of the stadium went from 400 million to £1 billion. That's a 2.5 times increase in the cost. There's variables in life. There's things that are happening outside of this bubble called Tottenham Hotspur that change the nature of how business is conducted. It's not as simple as to say, like, we didn't sign anyone. Doesn't matter what the reason is. We just didn't sign anybody. Therefore, Daniel Levy's a cunt. Like, it's a nonsense, lazy argument, Brian. There's other things that are going on, man. That was why that happened. and you choose not to consider them because it doesn't suit the narrative. But there was an extra 650 million quid that had to be found to pay for the stadium. And if you don't have that stadium, people say, "Oh, I didn't ask for a stadium. I was happy at White Hart Lane." Good luck finding a way to pay the salaries of 250 grand a week level players, which is what you need if you want to go and win FA Cups or win Champions Leagues or win premierships. If you want to be able to pay 4 or 5 or 6 players in your squad 250 grand a week plus, you ain't doing it with a 36,000 seater stadium. And even Leicester don't do that, Alex. They don't do it. There's realities of business that you guys
Leicester City have a scouting network and a chairman that lets the manager get what they want and listens to them. Paul Mitchell left.
Managers in as well, Bob. They get the right managers in as well, you know?
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers, you know, they don't sack their managers quickly. They've got a strategy of what they're going to do and where they're going to play. Look at Brighton, for instance, bruv. Look at Brighton. Look at how much money they spent.
I'm not having it. I've got to deal with this guy. I've got to deal with this guy because he started this yesterday and I'm going to finish this now. Okay? Let me explain something to you. Like Red said, I am a Tottenham Hotspur supporter.
Okay, Pablo.
I am someone that loves my football club. I support my football club. It is not my responsibility to find a billionaire to come in. Do you think when Chelsea were bought by Roman Abramovich, a load of Chelsea fans went, "Oh, I don't like him, babes. Let's just get our Rolodex out. Oh, this Roman Abramovich seems like a good guy." And then when Man City came along, did all the Manchester City fans have a gathering and say, "Do you know what? Playing at the Etihad and this shit football and not having players and living in Manchester United, let's go and try and find someone that owns a country. Let me just tap into him." No. Did PSG go, "Oh, wait a minute. Not happy. Let's get the Qatari family. I've got them on speed dial. Or let me drop them a WhatsApp." No, it is not my responsibility to find owners for the club. It is my responsibility as a Spurs fan to call it how I see it and how I have done for 14 years. So when you say who's coming in, this narrative of, "Oh, who's better, it's not my job. My job as a supporter is to praise the team and the owners and the manager if I think they own it and deserve it, and to criticise when I want to and when I feel they deserve it. It is not anyone's responsibility of a football club from the fans to go and find brand new owners. I don't go put a fucking thing in LinkedIn and say, please can you look at this, take this job on. It's not my or any Levy out or any Tottenham Hotspur fans' responsibility. I'm going to stop there before I go absolutely nuclear.
Can I just answer a couple of polite comments in the thing, just rather than typing them out? So Anthony Berryman saying, "You mean we built the stadium with £1 billion worth of debt?" We did build it with £1 billion worth of debt, but we have to service the interest on that debt, right? So, and that's 35 million quid a year, which we wouldn't have had if it was 400 million. To Eugene in the comments that was saying, if you build £1 billion stadium, you don't have people looking into the commodity future, Sean. I'm not sure if that's tongue in cheek. Of course, you're going to have people that are trying to figure out what's going on with the best way to finance. Of course you are. But at the same time, during like the timing, and this is just legitimate truth, the timing of our stadium rebuild, the reason why the price went 2.5 times was because there was a commodities boom at that particular time. There was a shortage of steel, a shortage of iron ore, a shortage because of the China economy going through there. Just for an incidental comment, China were found guilty at the same time of threading and thinning the iron ore for their railway lines because they couldn't get enough iron ore to facilitate the growth of their country's railway tracks. At the same time as Tottenham was trying to buy iron ore, if the Chinese government can't buy enough of it, that's the reason why the stadium costs 2.5 times more. It's just a fact. It might not be a convenient fact for some people who are Levy out, but there are things that you can't necessarily predict and certainly can't control. If you're just £1 billion sounds like a lot of money in the global economy, it's sweet FA, right? And to Bob Spur, for someone who prides himself on financial knowledge, you forgot that Spurs are not short of money. You forget to mention the matchday revenue, which dwarfs nearly everyone in Europe. Yeah, now it does. Now it does because of the stadium. Right, look at what happened to Arsenal when they built their new stadium. They went from the Highbury to the Emirates. They didn't win a trophy for the next 8 years. For 8 years after that, they had to go through it. And they didn't sign anybody for 2 seasons. They went through their necessary rebuild. Tottenham are doing it now. I am someone that acknowledges how much money we are making currently. You also have to factor in the COVID situation, right? We went a whole year without any match day revenue, like everybody else, but that screws up the timing of it. We've just got a brand new stadium with all
Sean,
the
can I just correct you on one thing?
Rising, hang on one second, mate. Rising, yeah, just you can in a second. Just rising interest rates and zero revenue coming from the stadium all of last season because of the COVID problem. Right, it was a perfect storm of shit show, but we're getting through it. And I am on the same page as everyone in the panel and everyone in the comments that if Daniel Levy doesn't put up or shut up, or if he doesn't put up this summer, then I've said it 1,000 times. There is no more excuses. There's nothing more on the horizon apart from inflation, which is a major concern. And here's why. Just last thing I'll say is that with the price of living going up as much as it is, with the price of heating trebling over the next year, it's going to go. Your average monthly bill might be from 200 quid to 600 quid. People's ability to have discretionary spend for luxury items and going to Tottenham is certainly one of those things. Look at the Netflix results. Netflix, right? You pay £8.99. Their share price collapsed after their results came out last week because people can't afford Netflix subscriptions anymore because of the price of living. Tottenham are going to have to figure out how to handle the inflation problem, because if people can't afford to heat their homes, they can't afford to buy their 8-year-old son a new Tottenham shirt with Kulusevski on the back of it, or they won't go to the stadium and pay 40 quid for 5 or 6 beers. They'd rather go to the off license across the road and get a 4-pack of Stella, because that's the only way they can make ends meet. There are things that are happening outside of Tottenham that explain the financial rationale for spend, but this summer Tottenham have to put up, and if they don't, I will join join Brian, I'll join Danny, I'll join Alex and anybody else at the protest. I promise you I will. I'm not Levy in. I'm just someone who looks at different data to you guys and understand that there's certain things that I think other people either choose not to look at or maybe don't understand. But if he doesn't put the money up in the summer, then I'll be at the protest with everybody else. Fact.
So yeah, I just want to say 2 things that you said that were wrong about Arsenal. 2 things, and then we can move on to Arsenal and get off Levy and talk about top 4. So first of all, Arsenal never went 2 seasons without signing anyone. We were the first team to ever do it. We were the first. No, they were the first person to never buy an outfield player when they just bought Petr Cech. That's what Arsenal did. And the difference between us and what happened with Arsenal is when Arsenal moved, Arsene Wenger came out and said to every single person, get ready for years and years of selling our best players and years of having to rebuild. Arsene Wenger came out and said that for the Cronkies at the time and was upfront and honest and took a lot of brunt from the Cronkies because he came out and said that. So that's the 2 differences with the Phils, and we should have learned from that. That's what we should have learned from. But now, let's get on Levy and talk about the Phils. Are they genuine threat now? Danny, go on, you haven't spoken for a while.
I mean, of course they're a genuine threat. I mean, anyone who doesn't think they are fucking deluded, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, we've been in this situation quite often, and we've failed on multiple occasions, not just in the Premier League, but in cups and stuff like that, where we need to get over the line, where the pressure's really on. This is our chance to really go and do it, and we just fail every single time because for whatever reason, the players' mentality is just not there. And it's like Bob always goes on about. He always says that I don't know why people expect more at times than what we're giving, because a lot of these players are bang average players, and Conte is actually making some of these bang average players play better than what they are, the level they are. So when they're not playing good, it's like what do we kind of expect? Because that they are just shit players, some of them. So for people to think that we were always going to have an easy run in, I think it's madness. It's absolute madness. Because we never do it the easy way either. And Arsenal right now, the they are in the driving seat. To be honest, if they win all their games, that's it. They will finish in the top 4, and they'll deserve it because they've got the points they needed to get when push came to shove. So I can't see the only way we can really go above Arsenal is if we beat them in the North London derby and hope that when we play Liverpool that week they drop points somewhere along the way. It's the only way it's going to happen. We're going to have to still rely on them to kind of drop points. Are they going to drop points? We don't know. Look at what's happening now. West Ham.
If we win all of our games, we still finish top 4, right?
If we win all our games, but we're not going to win all our games.
But if we did, like, it's still in our hands.
Yeah, but we're not.
Sean, how many games do you think we're going to win?
At the moment, if we play the same fucking formation, the same team, the same tactics, 0. I'm that worried at the moment. I'm that worried. I genuinely am. I don't see us we are clueless. I don't know. Harry Kane could have dropped back and helped out in the midfield. Whenever he does that, you know, the option like that when the opposition tactics are just to crowd out the midfield, Harry Kane drops deep, and that seems to have always been the solution. At least in the 4 games we won before Brighton, and yet he didn't do it in Brighton. He didn't do it yesterday. I don't understand what's going on with the tactics. It's either deliberate or it's frustration or tiredness or exhaustion. I don't get it.
Piss off, Dietrichs.
I don't get it, but there is a way that we can improve, and it just requires certain things to happen. I know Alex is putting his hand up because he's going to say this means that it's Harry Kane FC.
You just walked into that, Bob. You literally just walked into that comment, Bob. Honestly, I don't know what to say, Bob. Honestly, you just go, Bob. You just give it
Do you know what's messed up as well, right?
Just say I'm right. Just say I'm right. Just apologise. All you need to say is sorry, Bob. Yeah.
No, I just need
sorry.
I need one of the 11 players.
Yeah?
I need one of the 11 players.
I was talking the truth. That's what I'm saying. Click this for David, by the way. Click this for David Harris, by the way.
I need one of the 11 players on the team. I need one of the 11 players on the team to do what he was doing before that worked, that he's now not doing. Okay?
Because he's Harry Kane FC. And what have we done, Bob? Have we scored any goals? No, we haven't. We haven't. See? And this talks the truth. Box office talks the truth. That's all we need to say. I'll wait for your apology, Bob, yeah? I'm waiting for your apology, you know what I mean? Obviously, clip this for David Harris as well. Clip this David Harris as well, yeah, bro. Just so we can just show it to him. You know what I mean? He's hero. He's hero.
You know what's more fucked up right now?
And he's step in and tell him he's.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'll get to it. He'll have his time. Don't worry, Sean. But look, in this running, right, you've got to remember as well that Arsenal now are getting luck on their side in every game they've played in the last couple of games, right? They've got all the lucky decisions. And if you look at it now, right, West Ham, for the West Ham game, they've got no centre-backs now. West Ham have got no centre-backs for their next game.
Gosh, are we actually worried about Arsenal? Bloody hell.
Alex,
unfortunately, we are.
Average.
What do you mean? How can we not be fucking worried about Arsenal, mate?
Bang average, bro.
Yeah, but so are we.
Yeah, we're bang average as well, but Arsenal bang average. Bro.
Yeah, but they're at the moment, they're the better bang average team. They're above us in the table. They're above us in the fucking table, Alex.
Jacker in midfield, bruv. The only reason why they're there is because they had no Europe, bruv. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, you should be top 4, bruv. You should be fucking top 3 with that bloody side. The way you're going on, You've had no Europe. You've had no Europe. You flopped in the Carabao Cup. You flopped in the FA Cup. You flopped to Nottingham Forest, bruv. They had you on toast, you bruv. They had them on toast.
Alex.
So you have a go, bruv.
Do you know what?
Alex, Arsenal's fixtures. What do you see? How many points do you see them getting? Let's be serious. Take away Spurs head, Spurs whatever. What's their remaining fit? I'll get them up. Danny, can you get them up? Yeah. Let's go. Let's break this down. Let's break this down together.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll get them up. I'll add them to the screen. I'll add them to the screen for you.
Yeah, go
on. All
right,
brother.
Do you know what the funny thing is, though? The funny thing is the fact that like Arsenal, right? As much as they are a bang average team, Alex, yeah, we've also been pathetic a lot of times, and unfortunately, right now, the points on the board is what matters. And what matters right now is they are above us in the table, right? They are in the driving seat. If they win all their games, yeah, obviously, if we win all our games, we'll be above them because of goal difference, right? But realistically, we're not going to beat Liverpool. Let's have that right. We're not fucking beating Liverpool, right? They'll bring on Diaz and they'll go and score a goal like they did today against Everton. And I'm going to get onto that game afterwards because it was disgraceful what I saw in that game today. But yeah, look, once Sean brings it up, we'll discuss it. But I mean, look, Brian, do you actually? I want to ask you, Brian, do you actually think Arsenal are dangerous in this running now because of what's happened in the last couple of games? Yes. What's your whole thought on this running?
Well, my whole thought on this running is it just goes to show how quick it changes. We all thought when we saw it, we were fourth, and we saw Man U, Chelsea. We all thought, oh Jesus Christ, here we go. This is going to be an easy 6 points drop for them, or maybe a point. Maybe a point. I mean, the game at Chelsea was an absolute joke. Sure, you showed us a load of your content.
I haven't updated. Oh, this is just financial stuff. If you want to talk about the
no, please don't get me back on that.
Yeah, fine. I haven't updated the Wolves, Man United, or West Ham to just look at the Tottenham and Arsenal one. But it's basically there are 5 games. They're the 5 games that Arsenal have got. All
right, so let's break this. We'll go round. Alex, West Ham away. What do you see Arsenal doing?
To be honest with you, I don't really care. Really, to be honest with you, if we get Europa League, it's fine for me. I don't really care. But the fact is, I think Arsenal are going to have problems anyway. Because I think we'll beat them. If we're looking at it hypothetically, to answer your question, Brian, just to answer the question, I'd say we'll beat them because we've got better strikers than them all day long. So I think our strikers will trouble them easily. I think Newcastle, they're playing well at the moment. Everton are fighting for their lives, and to be honest with you, like today, I think they were very unlucky today. To be honest with you,
they were
so really unlucky today. And I think if they play like that against Arsenal, they've got every chance. Leeds are, they've got lots of energy. So I think, you know what I mean. But I mean, like I said before, and I'm going to keep to this. I'm going to keep to this whole mantra with me at the end of the day about top 4. You get 70 points or more, that's you getting top 4 for me. You know what I mean? It's not a trophy, like I said. And to that person that made the comment saying that, oh well, about the Carabao Cup, you're being contradictory about the Carabao Cup. Well, I've seen Tottenham win League Cups before. We did nothing afterwards. With good sides, by the way, because we had Robbie Keane in the side last time with Berbatov and Modric and all those players. We did nothing afterwards. The manager got sacked after that year. You know what I mean? So, and he won loads of trophies, that guy as well.
One day Ramos, was it?
Yeah, One day Ramos, yeah. So I'm sorry, like it doesn't show me any change in that mantra at all, winning the League Cup. So, you know what I mean? That's why I'm saying I'm not going to be that fascinated if we win the League Cup. It's great. It's a tick box, like a Blue Peter badge. Great, fantastic. I've got it. I've got it in my life. That's it. Move on. You know what I mean? No disrespect to children, because lots of children love Blue Peter, so no disrespect.
Mate, is it still going on?
I don't know actually. It was when I was a little young kid. But yeah, this is the point. But the thing is, like West Ham, like I said, are going to get concentrating on the Europa League, which really, to be honest, you can't blame them, because like I said, this is the biggest competition going for them. And it will be big for them, massive for them. It'll be a game changer for them, and it'll be bigger than what Tottenham are doing at the moment. At the end of the day, if they win that top competition, they look a better bet than Arsenal and Tottenham put together, 100%. And it wouldn't be any reason for Declan Rice to leave. And
well, they're not letting him leave, are they?
It's a massive.
No, they're not letting him.
Yeah, well, it's a massive plus for them. Massive. It would have been a massive plus for Tottenham last season. If we got through and won that Europa League, absolutely, 100%. It's better than top 4 any day of the week. Second best trophy in Europe. You know,
if they win, if they don't win, if they get knocked out by Frankfurt, and they finish
fantastic.
And they then finish 7th in the league. They're playing Conference League football next season.
Yeah, fantastic.
You're putting a lot of
but at the end of the day, at the moment, you're looking at the teams that are left in the competition, bruv. They've got a very, very good chance. They've got rid of the 2 good teams already, so they've got a very, very good chance.
Let me ask you a question, though, right? So how much emphasis, because we're talking about Tottenham trying to get top 4. I don't think West Ham are going to do Tottenham any favours against Arsenal, but that's split between their two legs. How much emphasis are they bearing in mind what I just said, that if they get knocked out by Frankfurt, then their form right now, all Wolves need to do is win a couple more games, and they could technically put West Ham out of the European spots altogether, right? Do West Ham need to put in a performance against Arsenal? Do they need to take their next 5 games seriously? Because there's a chance that they won't win, and it's a decent. Whether I don't know what the odds are on West Ham to win the Europa League, but I take your point. Like, they are like probably the third best team, or maybe the second best team of the 4 that's left, right? So I'd say that Leipzig are probably the favourites. But if West Ham don't win it, and they don't take the rest of their league seriously, then they've got just as much chance of being in the Champions League next season by winning the competition as they do not being in European football at all. So on that basis, how much credit do you give them to put in a shift against Arsenal on Sunday?
I think West Ham will give it a go. I think they'll give it a go. I think they've got some pride in themselves as well. It depends on how much they, at the end of the day, West Ham don't want to get thrashed because they want to keep the momentum. They want to keep momentum, don't they?
Yeah, they don't want to lose. Of course not.
Let me ask the question a different way. We'll go to you, Danny, then Alex and Sean. Arsenal's fixtures, if at all any, where do you see a slip up?
Probably right now, I would say Newcastle and Everton are the teams that they might slip up, purely because Newcastle away at home is a tough fixture, right? And right now, other than us, I think they picked up more points than anyone else in the league. So I think since the start of the year, since 2022, I think it's gone Liverpool, Man City, Liverpool, us, and then it's Newcastle. So Eddie Howe's completely rejuvenated their football, their determination. And I know they're not playing for anything, but they're playing for pride at the moment because they're in a state now where they want to transition and they want to put their name on the map in the Premier League, and they want to make themselves a big club, and they're going to be doing that over the next couple of years. So for them, they want to try and build this winning mentality of not just it's a nothing game to them. They want to play for their own pride because they've got new owners now, and they're going to be spending fucking millions and millions.
Burnley annoy me, bro. Burnley annoy me. Sorry to interrupt you. They annoy me so much, bro, because of the way they treated Sean Dyche was absolutely despicable as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah, it was. But
honestly,
look.
But who knows? It looks like it might even be. Look at their form since. They're out of relegation.
Despicable, bro.
No, it is. Don't get me wrong.
The thing is, though, is you can't. It's hard to say because, if you look at it as well, Burnley have picked up some points, and again, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But if Everton keep playing the way they are and they're winning, then they're gonna send Burnley down on their own merit because they deserve to stay up because they won their games, right? So, look, if Arsenal are going to step up anywhere, it's going to be one of them 2 games. I think. I think they'll beat West Ham. I think they'll beat Leeds. And I think it's Newcastle and Everton because Everton are going to need that win to stay up. And by going by the performance they had today was a really good performance against Liverpool, and they were very unlucky not to come away with anything in that game. They were hard done by.
Does that give you any kind of solace or any kind of confidence, mate, that when we go there, if Everton can go there and put in a shift like they did, does it give you any hope at all that Tottenham can do the same?
No, because we're not Everton. We're playing because we're Tottenham, right? And so
I love that. No, none at all.
None.
A team in 18th in the league can go to Liverpool and put in a really good.
Do you know why, Sean? Do you know why though?
Go on, Dan, you go first.
I was going to say, right. The reason I say that, is because unfortunately at the moment it's in some of these players' DNA where they do not give a fuck, right? That is just what their DNA is, and so far in these 2 crucial games where they needed to win, Brentford they should be beating. I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck who Brentford are. We should be beating Brentford. We should. On paper, we're a better team than them. We should have beaten them, right?
They weren't good yesterday. Like, it's
they're
not
better than us, Sean.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but it's not like they were like unbelievable. We just
no, I know.
It wasn't that they didn't beat us. We were just.
But that's
woeful.
not the point. Yeah,
you know?
but that's the point I'm trying to make is that we were woeful because we didn't turn up because we didn't give a fuck, right? If we gave a fuck, we'd be playing the way we're playing. In the last couple of games, we were winning 4 goals, 5 goals, and all that kind of stuff. And that's the thing. I just don't have this faith that some of these Spurs fans have in their team because I've been here too many times before. I know. I love how optimistic some fans are, like Bob Spur, for example, because he's got so much belief, and I love when he speaks because he does know how to turn people's opinions and make them kind of believe. But just for me, unfortunately, I don't have that belief because this team lets us down too many times, right? Why should I go through and put myself through the stress and all this kind of bullshit that I'm going to put on myself to really, really build my hope and my like passion to say, do you know what? We're fucking good enough to do this. We're going to do this because what's going to happen is it's going to rip my heart out again when we fucking fail once again, right? So my viewing on it is that why should I put all my trust and stress and belief into this team like right now when at the last 2 games they've shown me nothing to give them that trust, because unfortunately at the end of the day these are professional footballers who are highly paid individual people who are in a privileged position, and for them to go and do what they did in the last 2 games, it's a fucking disgrace. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. People like us, right? We pay good money to go and watch this team, whether it's in the stadium, whether it's watching from afar, watching on a TV, watching through IPTV, wherever it is, right? We pay a lot of money to watch this team and support this team. Some people get up at 2, 3 in the morning to watch this team, and then they go and do that, right? Why does that give us confidence? Yeah, when they're not giving us anything they're not even showing us a glimmer or a hint that they want this top 4, right? And it's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic, and I can't stand it, right? And it's like for me, I look at my own health and stuff like that, and I don't want to stress myself out, right, and add more stress to my life than I already have, right, with this fucking disgraceful team. Right? Yes, I'm a fan. I love the club. I'm going to support them. But they haven't shown me nothing, Sean. Absolutely fucking nothing in the last 2 games to make me believe that they're going to get top 4.
No, I get that. I get your
frustration. I know things can change very quickly, right? But it's like you can see a difference in the formation, in the way we're playing at the moment, right? We've gone from playing really with confidence, with one-touch football, with this like not like an arrogance, but like a real desire and hunger that I don't care who you are, I don't care if they score a goal, we're going to score a goal, right? To completely playing Nuno ball again. It's like no shots on target.
What do you think? What do you think's changed? Like let's remove any like emotion from it's Daniel Levy's fault or it's not Daniel Levy's fault or whatever, right? Because I know that like obviously there's passions in here, and I know that the channel is obviously quite Levy out centric, but just like in terms of like
it's easy, Bob. It's easy
in terms of like just looking at it into like under a microscope. Oh, okay, Alex, I'll ask you.
It's easy.
First, if that's okay.
It's easy.
Sorry to be asking the questions, guys. I hope
you stop Harry Kane.
Free for all,
You stop Harry Kane. You stop Harry Kane. And you stop Kulusevski and Son from making those runs behind. You stop Tottenham. It's easy. Absolutely easy.
But you know why though?
The same template that is being re-employed now by Brentford and Brighton was first employed in January, Southampton away by Hasselberg, whatever his name is, right? And then
Hasselhoff is in Baywatch.
I'll be ready. So like he did it, right? He did it successfully. Then we went to Watford and we struggled and we got the 94th minute winner. I think it was Sanchez in the air, whatever happened there, right? Then we turned a little bit of form, and then we had Wolves and Southampton, and everyone was like fucking toys out of the pram. Tottenham are fucking dead. We're a useless outfit. And then we went through like a flip-floppy, a win-loss thing, and then it suddenly started to change after the Leeds game, Man City, and all that stuff. And things started to turn right. But most of those teams, okay, not Man City, not Leeds, and maybe not Everton, those teams didn't employ the same strategy. But Brighton away, they did. right? And we beat them 2-0. And the other game, Newcastle tried it. Villa tried a different tactic altogether. And I remember someone in the comments earlier saying, to my point, that things changed when Doherty went off. But I think that the Aston Villa team was set up like they decided to go down an aggressive path, and we went direct. What has changed now? If the template was set way back in January, how to defend against Tottenham, how to beat Tottenham, high press, moments of high press, low block the strikers on the opposition team. They block the channels and then do what they do. If that was the template that was set back in January, yet we've beaten it more times than we haven't since then. What's going on in the most important 2 games, the chance to kick on? Is it a mentality thing that we're under is it the pressure of being in top 4?
No.
But you're saying it's like stop Harry Kane. You stop Harry Kane. You stop
Harry Kane. You stop Harry Kane. You don't get anything else because you've got Højbjerg who's average. You've got Højbjerg that's average, who don't do nothing in that midfield. You've got banter who needs a little bit more time, and he's now finding out what the Premier League's all about. You've got Kyriacou who needs time because Kyriacou wasn't ready. Like I said, he started well, but look what happened afterwards. You know what I mean? Like that's your time in the Premier League, bruv. You need more time, bruv. You know what I mean? Because when you get rough, I shouldn't say that word. Maybe when you get, people that are a bit hard on you, like rough with you and stuff. I don't think that's the right word of saying it, but
fine,
that rough with you in defense and combative. You can't just throw your elbow. You've got to just get yourself up and just keep on going. To be fair to the lad, he does keep on going, but he needs help. He needs a winger. He needs a wing back that's going to be wanting to go and bumming down. You know what I mean? So it's about other players stepping up. You know what I mean? Romero's not doing his runs anymore. Trying to get.
I think that to me, I think you have hit a nail on the head there. When we were winning, the way that we were like trying to pierce through that stupid low block was Romero was joining into the midfield, helping Doherty. Like there was an extra man there. We could do one-touch passes. For me, it's a little bit of the lack of that additional help from Romero going forward or Davies on the left. But also it's just when the ball gets passed around, you see the stats on SofaScore. Dyer has or the centre-backs have got 4 or 5 times as many touches. Maybe that's a massive exaggeration. Maybe twice as many touches as the offensive players. So they're getting a lot of the ball, but they're getting the ball and they're receiving it, touching it, then they're taking a second touch, and then they pass it along. It's this that if we could go to one-touch passing, which we did, Danny, if you remember, we spoke about it yesterday, in the first 15 minutes of the second half, when we did look a little bit more aggressive, when you and I were getting a bit animated, they did have one-touch passing, and it was a little bit more fluid, a bit quicker, but it suddenly just fizzled out. And I don't know if that's not a Conte decision. That's not a Levy problem. That is the players on the pitch
not taking their initiative.
Not taking
the initiative.
Capable of doing one-touch passes.
Because when you see Højbjerg on the ball, and I'm not just picking on him because there's Winks as well. Winks is a problem as well, but I think that's down to coaching as well. And that's not his fault, Conte's fault, because Conte's done an absolute miracle for this squad. I have to say that. He's done an absolute miracle for this squad. He's had 7 days with them every single week, so that's helped. Even though I'm sorry, I don't like this whole thing about us not winning the Conference League. I'm sorry, I would take the Conference League all day long because that gets us into Europa League to answer that comment about the Carabao Cup. But anyway, moving on. Like I said before, there's just no midfielders that are taking initiative. You know what I mean? And the initiative that came from players like Ndombele, and I'm not saying that Ndombele and Lo Celso were the answers. I'm not saying that, but you would take them right now as another option at the moment, because at the moment we've got no other options at the moment. You see what I'm saying? We've got no other options. Now we're not as bad as what Arsenal have done. Get rid of all the players and then have no players to go into and say that we've got a happy-go-lucky squad now, and you're getting lucky with results like Manchester United, for instance. Yeah, But the point I'm making though is that you could have used them in some way. You know what I mean? It's like you could have mixed it up a little bit just to give a little bit more competition to the team, maybe. You know what I mean?
I hate the fact that the starting 11 know that they're the starting 11.
I don't like it either.
It breeds like this meritocracy. It's the last thing I'll say because I've been talking a fuck of a lot, and I'm sorry.
100%. That was your word of the day yesterday, wasn't it?
100%.
100%. Yeah, sorry. But the last thing I'll say is that I hate the fact that there's that the idea of a meritocracy is that if you're good enough, you play. If you're not, you don't, and your position is never guaranteed. And I feel like the substitutions that we've been making recently, it's a standard. I know yesterday we put on Sanchez, and I'd love to get your thoughts on that in a second, but because it didn't make any sense to me. But the idea is we stick to the 3-4-3, and when things aren't going right, the person with the least amount of kudos, the least amount of brownie points, the least amount of like saved up respect or credibility of the front three is Kulusevski. So he's obviously the first substitution, and you bring on Lucas Moura, even though most of us were like screaming out for Bergwijn because he's the one who's in form of the subs. But you bring him on, and then because Sonny is Sonny, he's not quite Kane. So Kane is unsubbable because he's Harry Kane. But Sonny's Sonny, who's almost unsubbable. So you wait until the 87th minute, and then you have to throw the dice, but it's not really giving Bergwijn enough chance. And the only reason that you give him that time is because of the Leicester result where he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes in injury time, and therefore he doesn't necessarily need that much time to change the game. To me, it's like it's a shit philosophy that the starting 11 are the starting 11, and the only people that are going to ever get changed are in order of who's got the least credibility of the forward line, because the 2 forwards on the bench are the only only players on the bench that you'd want to change anyway. It pisses me right off, and it sets a really bad example to anyone coming through that if you're fighting for a position with a player that's got credit, then you ain't going to get a chance. And to anyone that's on the pitch, it doesn't matter how badly you perform. If you've done enough in the past, then you're not going to get subbed anyway.
What gets to me, Sean? You know what really gets to me, right? We've got 2 youngsters on the bench at the moment, Scarlett and Harvey White, that are here. People waxing lyrical about them. They have no chance of getting into that team. And all I've heard, and I'm not going to have a go at Alistair Gold because Alistair Gold's a brilliant journalist, but I've heard from Alistair Gold saying, "Oh, he's doing so well, Scarlett. Oh, Conte's absolutely loving him at the moment." I absolutely, totally agree with you about what your Conte subs, by the way, from you, Sean. You're absolutely spot on the money because they're too.
Changed my opinion then.
They're still bang average as far as I'm concerned. Why are you bringing on Moira when you know what he's going to do? Yeah. I know exactly what he's going to do. You know,
it's predictable.
I know he's so predictable. Well, you know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to go straight through the middle and then he's going to either get fouled or he just gets a lucky shot on, or he does a blocked cross or something like that. He's not going to do anything major at the end of the day. I'm getting confused why we didn't sell Bergwijn, because Bergwijn's doing nothing at the moment, and I feel sorry for him.
This is the problem with Lucas, and not as the goals video he's released today, the one before. He said he was talking to Rob Guest or someone, I think it was Rob Guest. He said, "You know what? Lucas Moura causes chaos for the opponents when he comes on, but he also causes chaos for us. Because like you said, Alex, you know what he's going to do. Head down, run, out of shape. When he loses the ball, we're out of shape."
His first touch as well, Brian, is poor.
I mean, I waxed lyrical about Lucas at the beginning of the season. I thought he under Nuno and the way he started, I thought he was really going to be like a standout season for him. And he just looked so much better. But I don't think he has the discipline. I just don't think under Conte he has the discipline. He's just, like I used to call him, the Brazilian Darren Huckabee, if people will remember Darren Huckabee. He just puts his head down and just runs, and then he's out of position. And then you look at Bergwijn. And when you look at Bergwijn, Conte's been saying, "Yep, I've got great faith in him. I see him playing striker. I see him doing this. He's great in training." And then he comes on for 5 minutes. And then I don't know if there's something that's gone on between the 3 of them, where there's just some kind of breakdown. Because you've got to look at it. Bergwijn's going to, if he's not assured minutes next season, he's off. Because it's a World Cup year and he wants minutes for Holland. But I can't see why Bergwijn. I mean, I think we can all agree that Bergwijn should be the first up. Big up Will Stewart in the house. So I don't understand what's going on with Lucas. I mean, I think Lucas, as much as I love him, has got to be one of the players that we generate funds from this season. I think he has to be. But it's how much.
Do you know what? Do you know what? It all depends on where they will sell whoever brings in money. I don't think they give a shit who they get rid of, to be honest with you. In my honest opinion, I think that they will just sell who they can get funds for to reinvest into the team. Simple as that. I think there could be players that might be players us fans don't want to leave the club, but they will end up leaving because that's who we get the offers for. Because the only way we're going to get more money to fund our rebuild or to start this rebuild is by getting rid of players and generating funds, because we know that they're not going to give Conte the funds outright, like all of the funds that he needs. They're going to give him a set amount if he wants to stay, and they say, look, you can have this, but you and Paratici have to work on who you want out the club and who you can get sold to bring in more players. And if you can do that, then you can get the other players you want in. That's what I think is going to happen if he ends up staying. But before we say anything else, there's 137 people watching right now. And it would be so kind of everyone if you could just smash that like button, because it really does help the channel out with all the algorithms on YouTube and everything like that. And it helps us grow to give you guys a lot more content and everything like that. So, and if you haven't done, if there's anyone new here, please smash a subscribe as well, not just to our channel, but to also to Spurs Talk Show, Mr. Sean Butler, because he's unbelievable. And of course, Alex, the post office THFC. But his
I'm nearly up to it. You know what? I should promote my show a little bit more.
You should. Alex, why don't you promote your show right now, brother?
You know what?
There's 145 people watching right now, so go and promote it, brother.
Listen, I'm here to give my objective opinion on Tottenham. I'm never always going to be kind to them because I'm always going to be objective. It's just from the time frame of being a young guy and being let down by them a lot as a young boy. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what you're going to get from me. Objective opinion. You're going to get videos about certain things that I don't agree with and stuff. Like, for instance, Strategy, who's useless as far as I'm concerned, and will prove it to me because, like I said, I will show it. You know, with all the stuff that's gone on in Juventus and stuff like that, which is a lot there. And by the way, people that say that he needs all the decision making to Strategy, look at his time at Juventus. Who made the decisions there? And who made the final decision after that? Because Daniel Levy is going to be doing the final negotiation absolutely 100% on this one. So don't get surprised. And everybody had a go at Steve Hitchen.
Are you Levy out, Alex? I don't know what your stance is on Levy. Are you part of the Levy out?
I have to say, before you answer that, Bob Spur, and if he's watching, he's one, as yourself, I have to say, when you say when everyone gave Hitchen grief, Bob Spur is one that most certainly didn't.
Can I say this as well about Bob Spur, by the way? Absolutely brilliant gent. And honestly, the show, please subscribe to him as well, please, because his show yesterday was on the money, you know what I mean? And like his intro is absolutely fantastic. And honestly, Bob is the best because he knows exactly when I am gonna let my rip as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, got to say, everything else I need to say, personally to him, because, I'd love to see him again. You know what I mean? Because I'm gutted I didn't see him last week, to be honest with you. I was gutted. But anyway.
Just quickly, I could have, like, if I had a bet with myself, I would have put my life on the line that Will Stewart was going to make a comment.
Yeah, so two things I want to say. We've had a super chat from Will. Thank you very much, Will. Subjective opinion, Alex. Subjective opinion.
No, it's objective. It's objective, Will. And I'm sorry, I'm not hearing it. Oh my gosh! I wish I got him on the channel right now, Bob. Honestly,
you want Will to come on? Will, if you want to come on, mate. If you want to come on, mate, message me on WhatsApp, Will.
That's so annoying. Honestly, to watch the game. He does not watch the game.
I would have bet anyone to go. Any money at all. If there was anything I was more sure of with this world.
Honestly. Oh gosh, he just goes on about stats. He says, "Oh, this stat, this that stat. Oh my gosh, Son does this. Oh, look at these stats on Son. Oh my gosh, look at these stats on Son. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh my gosh, I've never heard such absolute rubbish in my life.
So before we get some people on, because it looks like we're gonna have some guests for this show. Can we want to try and get the likes up to at least 100 guys? So come on, help us out here. Smash that like, everyone, because it really does help.
Okay, they've been sent. And also, I just want to say as well, he's been in the comments. He's come up with some great comments today. I just want to announce that Tuesday's guest is going to be this guy here, Adrian Schrocker. And I think I've said the surname right for the first time. He has a brilliant Facebook group called Diehard Spurs or Spurs Diehard. I get it wrong every bloody time. Known him for a little while via his Facebook group. Very, very knowledgeable. It's going to be a great show, 10 p.m. Adrian, once we have the link sorted out and the actual StreamYard link, I will be sending that to you via Facebook or tomorrow or first thing Tuesday. But that will be at 10 p.m. UK time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. So I've sent the link out to 2 people.
By the way,
before you say something, sorry guys, there's been so many comments tonight, so it's been hard to get through all of them. But if you do want us to talk about your comment or get it up on the screen so we can discuss it, please put in the super chats, everyone, and we will get it up and we will have a chat about it. And before you go on, Alex, we have got another super chat from Faz Radfar. So Faz Radfar, Paratici and Conte are the best things that happen for Spurs for years. What do you think of that, Alex?
Oh my gosh! Well, you actually have a laugh. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? Oh my God! Someone does an April Fool's joke, bruv. Honestly, Conte, yes. Prodigy, no. I just need to say, Paul Mitchell, bruv, has bantered him all day long, bruv. All day long, bruv. Nah, bruv. All you need to do is invite that David Harris as well, who's been hiding from me, by the way. You know what I mean? So invite him into the party, bruv, because honestly, I'm on it right now. I'm on it right now, bruv. I'm on it right now all day long, bruv, man. I'm on it right now.
Can we keep going? Can we extend this show by an hour or so? Because I feel like we're going to get spicy.
Well, if Brian, it depends on, like, we can go on a little bit longer. Like, we'll see how it goes, but depends on what Brian wants to do as well. But so Alex, so you obviously don't like Paratici and Conte, right?
Just so overhyped. It's like,
but the thing is, Alex, how can you say he's overhyped when he hasn't been given a chance? Right, he's only had 2 windows.
Lucky with
but he has had 2 windows, and he's got rid of pretty much majority of the shit that was causing us problems in our squad.
On the cheap, he got rid of Dele Alli for a free, which we're not going to see any money for him, by the way, and he got rid of Lo Celso and Ndombele, who, let's be honest here, you know, you're not going to get that much money for them either. So I mean, it wasn't the best thing anyway. Romero, it was the defender of the year, so that's not very difficult, isn't it? Yes, he's world class. He's absolutely world class. I've apologized to the people that were bigging him up. You know what I mean? I've apologized to them. I've had to take some humble pie on that because I've seen it. I've seen it how many times now?
I accept your
apologies. You know what I mean? The first day I saw him, I knew he was world class. You know what I mean? And like I say, and to be honest with you, it's maybe been harsh. It may be been harsh on those 2 players, but they're 2 rejects from Juventus, and he got him at the last minute because he got desperate. Desperate.
Before we'll go. There's another super chat. Will, thank you, and you've got the link. Will, WhatsApp you. Alex, can you define objective?
I'll define an objective for you, bruv, by the fact that I look at different opinions, bruv. You know what I mean? So, but you're going to come to me and say, no, we'll go in the dictionary and say what objective means, though. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way I look at things, bruv. You know what I mean? So, by the way, if you want to subscribe to my channel and want to listen to someone that talks sense from Mr. Box Office, please subscribe. Please subscribe. You know what I mean? If you want some different content at the end of the day, not board meetings like some other channels do, please subscribe.
Yeah,
please
go subscribe. You're watching.
Please subscribe. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mail he likes to deliver.
We don't do board meetings like you know.
If you want first class stamps, they're on special over on Alex THFC.
Wait a minute. Before we go any further, you've promoted your channel. Sean, tell everyone when they can find you.
Appreciate that. And you guys can find me at where can you find me? Spurs Talk Show, all one word. I've got to shout this out. I always say hashtag no spaces, hashtag all one word, because Spurs Talk Show is also there's another Spurs Talk Show, a thieving, nasty little channel from over in San Antonio, Texas, that happens to do or used to do content 4 years since they last promoted any content, and their subscriber count has been going up and up and up. Every day I look at it, and it's an extra couple of subscribers. And I'm pretty sure that those people should be subscribing to my channel because they haven't done any content in a long time. So if you are looking for me, you can find me at Spurs Talk Show. Over there, I do. I take my dog for a walk every day, and I get Tottenham shit off my chest. And I do like round tables like this. And I think at some point soon I'll be doing watch-alongs and things as well. But yeah, Spurs Talk Show is where you can find me, and I'm on the march. I'm like 890 subscribers right now. I'm not far away from 900. So if anyone hasn't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you could.
Please get over there and smash, because we need to get Sean to 1,000. Because Sean said to me yesterday in the studio that he will do a challenge when he gets to 1,000 subscribers. So
no, I was only saying that on the We Are Tottenham TV thing, but that didn't happen. So
doesn't matter. If we can get you to 1,000, Sean, we get you to 1,000. That's it. You got to do a forfeit, man. You got to do a forfeit.
Well, if I get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this particular show, then I will shave a couple of lines in my eyebrows.
No. I tell you what we'll do. We'll make a deal with you. If you get 1,000 subscribers, or if you hit 1,000
by the end of the
season,
one
of these bi-weekly shows, then you need to do a forfeit or something to commemorate it. But only if you hit 1,000.
We'll figure that out on the show-by-show basis. On a show-by-show basis. It's not like the guys that show Spurs.
You're like, whoa, no.
You see what he's trying to do, Brian? He's trying to do a gentleman's agreement right there.
Yes, he is learning from that. But we got sidetracked. So one of the super chats was is Conte and Don Paratici the best thing to happen to us in years? Alex, you gave your opinion. Sean?
What was the question? Is Paratici and
Conte the best thing to happen to Tottenham in years? From Faz, yeah.
No, I don't think. For me, like, I know Alex can't stand Paratici. I know a lot of people absolutely love him. I'm still like, the jury's well and truly still out. Like, it's been one transfer window, and we looked good for a period. Now we don't look so good, and some of the decisions now, like, when you reflect on January, your opinion, if you're reasonable, your opinion will shift depending on whichever way the wind is blowing. And at the moment, the wind is blowing pretty poorly. So, I don't necessarily think it was as good a window as it was, 3 weeks ago when we were banging in 5 goals every week, and it was Bentancur and Kulusevski that were in no small part responsible for that. So I'm not sold on Paratici yet. I'll wait and see what happens in the summer, and I'm certainly not sold on Conte yet. Like, I know that this is an unpopular opinion, but like, everyone who says in Conte we trust, sorry, like, you got to prove to me why you're worth the big bucks. And just because you won trophies at Chelsea and Inter Milan, Juventus, and everywhere you've gone, like, you haven't done it. You haven't blown me away from Tottenham. Like, last season we had Jose Mourinho and he got to a final. This season we didn't. We'll see what happens. I still want to see him more flexible with his strategy, his tactics. This is not a new opinion of mine. This is an opinion I had from January, from February, from when I joined the community. So, I'm pretty stable with my opinion. He hasn't won me over yet. I think I don't want him to go. I'm not Conte out, any of that shit. But I'm just looking at Conte. I'm not a fan of his media talk. I'm not a fan of his flip-flops when things were going bad and he would throw his toys out the pram, and then next week it was the best bunch of people he's ever worked with. I didn't like any of that shit. Yes, we've gone through a little rosy period. Now we're going through a shit period. I want him to figure it out. And if he continues to put out the same formation with the same team, what is the definition of insanity, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. I need to see a plan B. I need to see him with something other than what he's doing when times are hard. And times are hard right now. If we come out with the same 3-4-3 against Leicester and the same formation, the same team, and the only difference is whether Reguilon's back in or Sessegnon's back in, then I'm starting to go like, I don't know if you're worth the highest paycheck at Tottenham Hotspur. I'm not Conte out. I'm just I'm Conte doubt, I guess you could call it, right? I'm like, I just don't know whether I don't know where this faith has come from other than his previous results. Like, show me at Tottenham that you've got a plan B, and he hasn't shown me that yet. So for me, the jury is out on Paratici, and I'm still the jury's out on Conte. Don't want any of them to go. I just want them to do as best they can, impress me before the end of the season, and then in the summer, Paratici and Levy and Conte get together and figure it out. And if you don't, then I'll see what happens then.
Danny?
Yeah, I'm kind of with what Sean was saying. I mean, I keep saying that. Look, so far he's had a couple of mistakes, but that's because based on like the managers that he's brought in, which again is partly his decision with Levy, and obviously Levy agreeing with what he suggested would be good for us as a manager. Obviously, he made a mistake in and obviously bringing in like players like Brian Hill, who we don't know if ever going to make it at Tottenham, and obviously Emerson. But what he has done is he's got rid of Dele Alli, who was toxic to that changing room. Got rid of Serge Aurier. He got rid of I know Dembele and Lo Celso on loan, but the way it's looking, it looks like Villarreal are going to probably sign him up on a permanent transfer, which would be good. And hopefully they can do something with Dembele, whether they get him on another loan again somewhere else, whatever it is. But he's started to shape this squad. But he's, like I said, he's had one summer window. He's had literally one summer window and one January. He can't work miracles in those windows. It's impossible, right? People need to like calm down with Paratici, right? And even I don't agree with people calling him a Don. I do not agree with that whatsoever, because he ain't a fucking Don, because he ain't done shit with us yet, because he hasn't had time to do shit with us yet. So whether or not he gets that time is another thing. But I think with him, he needs to have like 2 or 3 like summer windows to really stamp his authority on this squad with the right manager at the helm. And it has to be Conte for me. Conte has to be here for at least 2 or 3 summers in order to really show us what he can do. Now, whether or not that's going to happen is another thing, because in my opinion, if Conte leaves, I think Paratici has to leave. Because if the so-called rumors are true about Daniel Levy speaking to Poch and he wants Poch back and all this shit, he's not going to work with Poch, because they're 2 different philosophies of how they want the game to be played. So they want 2 different types of players. They ain't going to work. So Paratici then has to get sacked. His job becomes untenable then. And that's the hard reality. That is the truth. Because you cannot have a director of football running the transfers at your club when you've got a manager who's got a complete different style and philosophy of the game. It's impossible. It doesn't work. So that's where we have to wait and see what happens. Whether or not Paratici is going to get his chance, we have to wait and see. But we can't judge him right now on a 1 summer window and 1 January, because usually in January, most clubs don't really do business, right? So we have to wait. We have to wait and see. Give it.
Kamikaze business. The way that he does business, though, has not been very good at all. Though we have to say that.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my answer, and we've got 20 minutes left. So we've got 3 super chats. We'll go round table with these 3 super chats. So first of all, Paratici, this summer will define everything, and this is his summer. He's got his foot under the table. He knows what he's dealing with. He knows what he's got. This is the summer where hopefully he can strike. Conte, without doubt, is the greatest thing to happen to us in a long time. Sean, I get where you're coming from completely, but I think
I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying
no. I know you know. I can see where you're coming from completely. I just think, given the right tools,
100%,
he's the one to lead us to greatness. I can see what you're saying now.
I'm with you on that. As well.
Next summer, like if he's there next summer, start the season. He's got what he wants. Champions League is not even a discussion. It's a
good times.
It's a guarantee. So there you go. So right, we're going through these roundtable. Like I said, we've got 20. So whoever wants to go first from Scorpions for Life, and thank you. Could we have done with Gio and Tanguy for the last games?
So Gio. So Gio, maybe.
Definitely. I think I would have kept Gio.
Both of them.
That's who I would have kept.
Do you remember Tanguy in the Liverpool game? When it was 0-0 or 1-0 Liverpool, and Tanguy put that through pass that literally ran under the foot of Harry Kane, so he didn't have to break stride. the ball would just suddenly found himself as he planted his foot to score the equaliser.
Yeah.
Like, Tanguy is a lot of bad things to say about Tanguy, but in moments he had the ability to be like pinpoint precise in a way that no other Tottenham player has that in his locker, or maybe a couple of those, but not many. And so, yeah, I think there is an argument to say that when things are going terribly, you look at those two players we let go on loan. But on the overall scheme of things, do you want that toxicity in the club? How much other negative shit would have happened? Or would we have won the games that we did? Would we have had the camaraderie and the team spirit that we did against Villa, against Leeds, Man City, etc. if Tanguy on the belly and Lo Celso were at the club? Who knows? I doubt it. I think net, I'm happy they're gone. But yeah, yesterday, it would have been great to have had one of those or both of those on the bench. Yeah, for sure.
I think the Celso and Dembele, like I said, are a result of bad management by the hierarchy regarding the managers. Like I said before, he came in when Pochettino was in, and Pochettino didn't get his time at the end of the day. Now, my point, I've been proven right that, because I said with Chris Cannon, I said, at that time, a first interview said, we should never have sacked Poch. I don't like going back because we shouldn't be going back. But the thing is, as a result, since the whole those years passed, we've not won nothing. We've been a sham of a show, and two teams have bantered us who are below us, Leicester City and West Ham. So, I don't really need to say any more there. But like I said before, like we tried to get a manager back, you tried to get Pochettino back, didn't we? Because we made the wrong decision. So, and the thing is, though, the reason why there is rumours about us going back to Poch is because, we are trying to get back those years now with him, and for me, it just shows to me that there's no plan. And for me, at the moment, I look at strategy, and yeah, Brian's right. And about the whole thing about Levy. I mean, this is down to Levy at the end of the day. You've had how many years of running this football club, and you still don't understand that you need to have a coherent strategy throughout the club. And I think it sums it up with the whole strategy with the youth director thing. He had people like John McDermott, and people under him. He had the recruitment side sorted. They sacked all the recruitment people, the scouts, and they had nobody in place. And now Paratigi's got to do the whole thing again. So if Paratigi leaves, and I'm not saying that I, advocate him, but if he leaves, we're stuffed. We're absolutely stuffed. So who's going to start the strategy again? You see? And then again, there's another cycle where what's happened with the youngsters, what's happened with the recruitment, what's happened with the whole thing. And that affects the first team. And like I said before, I think I have got a good point here. And like I said, when you've got players that are not playing well at the moment, and you haven't got youngsters that are eager to get in there and start proving their point, you start looking at it and thinking, where's the strategy here? What's the strategy? We want to play fast attacking, free-flowing attacking football. That was his words, Levy, at the end of the Aston Villa game, the last penultimate game. Since then, we've gone from trying to find a manager that plays that sort of side of football. Then we were talking about Harry Kane for the whole summer. And then all of a sudden, we get Nuno in. And then we start getting Conte in because Conte's a winner and everything else, because Prashi's his best mate, which he's not his best mate, by the way, because they're not best buddies. They're definitely not best buddies. I can tell you that for a fact. Yeah, because he wasn't happy about that January transfer window towards the end. Prashi and Conte, they're not. Maybe a working relationship, but they're not best buddies. I can tell you that for a fact. Yeah. I've heard that. So okay. This is the thing. And then we're still talking about whether he's going to stay or go. Now, for me, you need a strategy. There's no strategy. There's no strategy whether he's going or staying. Kane, he's going or staying. We still haven't confirmed that at the moment. So, I mean, again, the mess.
You can say the same about like Kylian Mbappe. You can say the same about Mohamed Salah. Like, there's loads of top players that are on the verge of maybe signing, maybe not signing.
Liverpool bloody going for the championship, bruv. How are you talking about, bruv? What are you talking about?
Okay,
Liverpool
very
going for the
quick.
championship.
Don't start another argument because we've got about 15 minutes left. Danny needs to
extend
answer.
it.
We've
Let's
got
keep
another
going.
super chat. We have another super chat to do, and then I've got one to read from Will again. But I just want to say to everyone in the chat and everyone, thank you. We're very close to 100 likes, and I've just seen someone's in the building, so he always gets a song when he comes on. So Maddie Hayes, Maddie Hayes, thank you for joining, brother. Danny, let's do these quick with these so we can make sure we get these super chats before we go off. That question there.
Is there a reason why
What's
we
your
have to
answer?
leave at 9 o'clock?
Well, you don't have to. You can
Brian
carry
is
on.
a traitor.
I've got another stream that
Brian's
I
a
committed to
traitor.
because I thought we're going an hour earlier. So you guys can carry on if you can
I'm
get
loving
someone
it.
else to join you.
I got so much more to chew Alex out about on.
Oh, here we
I'll
go.
tell you what, you guys can carry on, mate. I'll just drop out. That's fine. If Danny's got all the time.
I can't
Okay,
wait
David
2
Wicks
weeks.
is in the
I
building
can't
right
wait
now.
2 weeks.
Please get him on. Please get Will. Honestly, I'm on it right today. I'm in today, Rob. I'm on it today, Rob.
Will said he'll be back in the next 45. Like, that was an hour ago. He said he'd be back in an hour. So
Okay, so if
if Will's back in the next like half an hour, then we'll get Will on and we'll stay for the
I'm off in 12 minutes. Do you know what? I'm off in 12 minutes. So I'm going to answer this question, answer the next super chat because I want to make sure we answer these because it's only right. So go on, you go first with this one.
Yeah, with this, I think I'm gonna be simple. I'm gonna be simple with this one, right? We shouldn't have got rid of both of those midfielders, right? No matter how annoying they were for the squad and all this kind of stuff, we should have kept one of them. And if I was going to keep one of them, it would have been Gio because he's the one I think that could have impacted the game maybe a bit different than say Tanguy could have. Because every time Tanguy came on, he just didn't do fuck all, and it was only when he started he'd have like one good moment, which obviously can always help impact the game. But I don't know, Conte, I think, didn't trust both of them. I can see why he got rid of them, but me personally, I would have kept one of them at least one of them, just for a number. We needed a number. Like, we need something different. Like, you bring on Lo Celso in a game, and he can impact it. It might not be like for a whole 90 minutes you start him, but 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you bring him on, he can change the game. It gives you something different to think about. But I get why they didn't want him, and it is what it is, really. But what can
By the way, Villarreal are in the bloody Champions League semi-final.
Yeah,
Champions League semi-final. Because of the Celso.
I know he's
the Celso's been a fit.
Oh no,
we should have kept one Foyth. Is that what you're saying, Alex? We should have kept one Foyth.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. I love one.
You lot are fucking deluded. You lot are fucking deluded. You lot are fucking deluded.
100%.
Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely
100%. Yes. Like we honestly, 3 million was absolute silly money.
Fucking stream.
Absolutely silly money.
I know I'm with Alex on 1 Foyth because I actually thought his better position for us could have been defensive midfield, not in defence. I really think
he could have been for Villarreal either. He plays right back.
That's where I saw when I've seen him play a couple of times.
He got ripped apart for Tottenham when he played right back.
Yes, but now
I remember when we were at Wembley, I went to see us.
We had Mourinho as bloody manager. That's why we had Mourinho as manager. No.
Listen, this is my interpretation. This is honestly, like, you can all talk about players that you think could have done good or done bits. I honestly think 1 Foyth, getting older, but if we'd got him in the gym, built him up, there could have been something there. There really could have. It may not have worked.
Horses for courses. He works for Villarreal in a slow-paced Spanish league, just like Brian Hill.
That's what I'm saying. I just think out of players that we got rid of, he's one that I would have tried to keep. I was always a fan of his. Hadn't worked out. He went, and it is what it is now. But I thought there could have been something there with him. With this one, it's really, really hard for me because I think Gio, what with his injuries and how reliable it would be to have him, plus there was blatant beef with him and Conte. He came out and said it as well. And then you look at Tanguy, and Tanguy was just a bad energy and very, very. It's so hard for me to choose which one I would go for. I would keep one, but I just cannot.
I think Tanguy would have been more. Tanguy, as much as we dislike his character, he would have been more the ability to thread a pass when you need it.
Yeah, but then you look at it, Sean. The way he walked off against Morecambe.
Yeah, no, yeah. 100%.
That's just still my argument.
Maybe it's a hard one to pick because both of them had their own reasons for why they shouldn't have played for Spurs. Like Gio didn't really care. He didn't give a shit about Spurs because every time you can see it now in his game, he cares. That's why he's playing good football for Villarreal, right? I know it's in another league, but in the Champions League, he's been playing really well for them.
Simply Ace is making the point. Villarreal, if they had to morph into a Premier League team, they'd be top 10, no better.
Okay.
By the way, the team that you said are just top 10, by the way, bantered everybody in Europa League and got in Europa League, bruv, last year, by the way. Bantered Man United as well, bruv. You know what I mean? The same player that you said was useless. The same guy that you said was useless was a major player in that team, by the way, bruv. Yeah?
No, he is a major player.
So I think the waffle that you were talking about there, bruv, is another waffle, bruv. Yeah? Because 1-5 is a very good player. Absolute great player, bruv, yeah? Right?
Okay, so Alex.
But before we let's move on to the other super chats.
Yeah, but I want to very quickly go to this one because it's an endorsement for Alex very quickly, and it's everyone go to Alex THFC where you can get objective opinions and subjective facts, serious mode. Seriously, though, great lad. But now we'll get to the other. And Sean, this is mainly for you. Sean, this is mainly for you, and thank you, Will, and thank you, Faz. Sean,
thank you,
we were
Scorpions,
regret losing Conte. If let's just chuck it all out in the air. Forget the rumours and forget blah, blah, blah and what that would mean. If Conte left, and this is very, very hindsight, this isn't us saying he's going. As you said when you were talking about Conte, and then like you and me agreed, obviously it all depends what he has this summer and goes.
Yeah.
Right now, if he wants to walk out the door, let's just say breaking news, Conte leaves, who is your appointment that's available right now?
I'll try and keep this as sweet because it's a fucking layered question. If there's any truth to him going to Paris, I'd rather that be known now, or at the very second the season finishes, rather than going and spending 120 million quid on players to fit his system just for him to go to Paris or wherever else in August. Because I don't know who the next cab off the rank managerially would be for Tottenham, but I'm pretty certain whoever it is wouldn't necessarily be rigid with a 3-4-3 wing-back system. So what worries me is if he does leave and we've bought players for his system, but he deems them not enough, or it's too hard basket, or he falls out with Levy, or whatever happens, and he fucks off having us just went and got a left-sided centre-back of a 3, like a De Vrij or a Bastoni or a Schlotterbeck or whoever, right? And then the next manager comes in, whether it's Pochettino or it's somebody else, but they want to play a back 4, then you've got £120 million again of square pegs in round holes. So I'd rather know if he leaves. I'd rather know sooner rather than later, so that whoever does come in gets the 120 million quid for his system. Or I'd rather the next guy that comes in has the same philosophy and also the same formation, so that we can have a little bit of continuity with the players that are being signed. Because for the last 3-4 managers, like you always say, Brian, and I completely agree with you, we go from an offensive manager to a defensive, to an offensive to a defensive, and we go from one that wants a back 4 to a back 3 to a back 4 to a back 3. And that's why we have Matt Doherty doing fuck all for Nuno, figuring it out for Conte. Emerson Royale, 25 million wasted because he's no longer fit for purpose. The same with Reguilon, the same with Sessegnon, the same with Ben Davies suddenly is a key player. Eric Dyer is suddenly a key player, but they can't figure it out in a back 4. It's especially for the back line. It's so important that whoever the next manager is either follows the same philosophy as Conte. And who is the next person, to Faz Radfar's direct question? I don't know. I'm with you guys. I don't want Pochettino.
You all know it's going to be Pochettino.
But I don't want him. And if it is him, then I don't want him to have to inherit Conte's summer signings. I'd rather Conte come in immediately, Conte leave before we spend any money, and then Pochettino look and say, well, maybe, Emerson's a great player for Pochettino's system. Right?
Okay, listen, whilst you're there, I think you know what's happening if I'm doing this already. I've got to go. I made a commitment that I can't get out of. So Alex, love ya. Sean, love you. Danny, don't mute me, you bastard. Kyriacou.
Cut him. Send him off.
He's a traitor. He's a traitor. We should get him off.
One thing I do want to say is big love to everyone in the chat and people, and I will call it out, Paul, if you're still in here, Paul Pablo. I get very, very hot-headed when it comes to that subject, and I never mean any offence to anyone directly. Sean will testify to that. People in this chat will testify to that.
It's heated,
and I apologise if I go absolutely batshit crazy. I just have Daniel Levy Tourette's, and I cannot help it. I'm trying to get a cure, but it's uncurable. So I will leave on the no, Danny, don't do it. And as always, Levy out.
See you, mate. Love him. Love that man.
See you later, Brian. So Brian is pissed off now because he's a traitor, but I'm only joking. But right. So there's actually another super chat I want to get to because I know KVP is putting a lovely super chat. So thank you, KVP, man. Big up, brother. Nice to see you in here, man. Villarreal battered Arsenal in the Europa League last year and went on to win it. Yeah, that's true. He's spot on, and that's the thing, though. Villarreal,
European football is a different, but it's a different. It's different.
It's completely different. I mean, Alex, what do you think to this? What do you think to this? Go on, Alex.
I think he's got a good point though, because like with the Champions League, it's completely different to the Premier League. Yeah, it is. It is absolutely 100%. But I will say this: that I mean, in saying that, he didn't have that much time with Pochettino though. He didn't really get that much game time with Pochettino. He had that. We thought that he was going to get that right back spot because we sold off what is his name, Trippier, didn't we? We sold off Trippier, didn't we? Yeah. But I still think he's a useful player. You know what I mean? I think he was a very useful player still. And I think he has some very, you could play him in different areas as well. So, he was a very useful utility player for me, if you used him right, as far as I'm concerned. He was growing. He was definitely growing in the team, definitely, I would say. But yeah, it's the past now anyway. We have to move on, I would say anyway. And the Celso, like I said, I think he's like as a result of Pochettino leaving, I think he lost his mojo when he left.
I think so.
And that was the mistake there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I think the story of Tottenham at the moment is that we have got Conte in, but I totally agree with what Sean says about Conte. I'm not fully for Conte, but he has done an absolute miracle. But all roads go back to that time with Pochettino. All those goes back to that time with Pochettino. It's like the whole road.
I did hear that, I did hear you say you totally agree with me, even though I wasn't on the screen.
Yeah, well,
I have my earphones in.
Don't get used to it, Sean. Don't get used to it, because sometimes you do speak sense, even if you don't want to agree with me, bro. You know what I mean? So, but my point is as well that it's like the whole thing with Martin Yole when we sacked him, and we didn't do anything right there. You know what I mean? So. It's frustrating. Like I said, I know there was a comment about that only 20% of youngsters come through and stuff like that. I understand that. They do need. Not all the youngsters do make it at the club that you're from an academy from. I understand that, but if the club was more organised, you would see more of them come through. As far as I'm concerned, I think. And
do you not think, Alex, that's across the board of the Premier League as well? It's not just one club. It's across grassroots football in England that it's very hard to get into that into the sort of first teams of the Premier League teams. And I know obviously it's easier in the lesser teams because they have to look elsewhere because of financial reasons, right? So they have to try and find talent from within, because they can't go and spend money that the top clubs can go and spend on players, right, from abroad. So do you not think that that affects everyone as well? Because if you actually look at the top teams, the really top teams like the Liverpools, the Chelseas, that even them, they'll only have 1 or 2 or 3 players that break through. Look at Liverpool, and then even if they do break through, they like not always going to be like these top class players. Like if you look at Chelsea, for me, I think Chelsea probably bring through more players than anyone else does, right? But if you look at Liverpool, how many players have they brought through over the last couple of years since their dominance in England?
Loads.
Right, they've brought through quite a few, but who have actually who have actually stayed in the team? Who are top players? Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? Robertson, they didn't come through; they bought him. Robertson was a bought player.
Oh yeah, he was bought through. He was bought through. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you are right.
Bought as an older youth or bought?
No,
No,
just you
from a Premier
Hull,
League team, wasn't he?
Hull,
Hull?
wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Hull, yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, Hull,
Was that when they were in the
Hull
Premier
City.
League, or was that when they were in the Championship still?
I think it was when they were in the Premier League. I can't remember now.
The fellow who broke his leg, the fellow who broke his ankle last season.
Who's
Someone
that?
in the comments, let me know.
It escaped me. Anyway.
Harvey Elliott.
Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, even he was come through.
Yeah,
right?
he's
But
come through.
even though he hasn't like cemented himself in the first team. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, has he made a difference to their? Has he made a difference to their squad?
No, my point is though,
to their squad, but not their first 11.
My point is though, is the frustration for me is, and this is where I think it's going to fall down at the end of the day, because all these rumors about Conte, there is something in them. I would say in some of them, to be honest with you, I think some of it's a bit of garbage. I've got to be honest, but some of them there is something in them. It's the philosophy. It's no consistency with the philosophy. I know after Conte leaves, they'll have got no clue what they're going to do afterwards.
They're going to get a random manager after Jose left. Yeah.
They're not going to have any clue. They didn't have any clue after Pochettino. You know,
well, this is like going back to not to get back into the Levy debate, right? But the thing that Brian was saying earlier about, and I accept 100%. I accept that Daniel Levy. I would rather allocate the blame here, and here, and here, and here in the individual categories of where they fucked up. But I would then allocate the blame to Daniel Levy, which is the CEO, which is what I would do for any CEO of any business that's big enough that they can't keep an eye on everything themselves. Is if you hang on to employment, if you keep employing people in divisions of your company that have underperformed for too long, and there is absolutely a lot of criticism that needs to be thrown Daniel Levy's way for that. But we are now going through the process of re-employing scouts, right? I think we hired like 4 or 5 new scouts in the last however many months. We've got rid of two coaches. We're signing 2 other coaches. I don't know whether you can include Ryan Mason's promotion as a part of that process, but it's clear to me that Paratici's come in and has a little bit of a larger mandate than the previous directors of football had. The previous DOFs were just there to do, the bidding of Daniel Levy or whatever. Daniel Levy had too much influence. But it seems to me like Paratici's come in and he's tasked not only with improving the first team, not only with working closely with Conte, not only with trying to get these players out, new players in, but he's also trying to rebuild the scouting network, trying to rebuild the coaching network, the youth development system. So for me, like, I know, Alex, you absolutely can't stand the idea that, I don't know whether you don't like Paratici or whether it's you just don't like people giving too much.
I think he's got a lot to prove.
Too soon. Yeah, okay. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think he's got absolutely a lot to prove. But I understand where people are coming from. I want to be proved wrong. If you want to, I'm not saying that because I want people to like me. I'm just saying because I don't really care at the end of the day. I'm going to say whatever I want to say, and that's it. Because it's my opinion at the end of the day. So I don't really care.
And it's objective.
But I'm going to be objective, and that's it. But if he does do well and he proves me wrong, Tottenham will be winning, hopefully trophies. You know what I mean? Like he did at Juventus. But there was a reason for that.
That's why I was saying, Alex, like he needs to be given a chance. So we can't slate him now because he hasn't had enough time to do it. That's the thing.
But the evidence is there, though, bruv. The thing is, though, the summer was because of him as well. That mess during that, the beginning, yes, that was down to Levy. He should never have sat Mourinho in the first place. He should have had a plan afterwards. But the point is, after it, when he had that list, Steve Hinge had that list was ripped up, and then Paratici brought in his list, and it was completely different to what Paratici we were looking for as a manager. And it's shown this season how bad it has been. And the person that has come out of this really, really well in the day, and he knows this already, is Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte looks very good still at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you look at it and think,
do you
with
think
that
he gets
team.
do you think he gets a fair critique, mate? Because I feel like there's certain people in the fan base that like they're waiting for opportunities. Like when we went through the 4 games, the four wins, a lot of, and this is just an observation. It's subjective. I could be well wrong, but there's a certain element of the Levy out brigade that had to go quiet, right? Because we were winning. They sort of went into their shells, and that when we lost to Brighton, that back out they come. The knives are sharpened again, and it's not just about the Levy out brigade, but there's other elements. You look at Matt Doherty, right? There was people that would have hated Matt Doherty that then had no option but to go, oh, I'm not going to, I can't, as much as I want to critique him and criticize Matt Doherty, I can't right now because he's doing really well. Same with people like Sanchez, same with the Højbjerg. Like there's a lot of people that dislike Højbjerg. And over the 4 games that we won, a lot of them had to they're waiting for the next chance to be right rather than just sort of treating information as it comes through.
Sean, I don't agree with you there. I honestly.
Well, but I mean, what? So what? You think people
because I can be harsh on those sort of players, especially Doherty, because the fact is Doherty at the end of the day, technically in Europe, he's a foreign player, so he has to perform. He has to be really good at the end of the day.
There's nobody that critiquing Bentancur. Right.
Well, I'm critiquing.
Bentancur comes in, has an amazing start. Everyone's like, "Fucking Bentancur." He's been awful the last 2 games.
If you've watched me, I've been very harsh with him. I've said to him, yes, he's done okay, but he can do better. I've said on many chats.
Not you specifically, Alex. I'm just saying the fan base in general. They fell in love with Bentancur. They fell in love with Kulusevski. There's very little criticism over the last 2 games. Like. The best you'll hear is everyone was bad, Kulusevski included. And I'm someone that was like, I'm Kulusevski's biggest fan. I fucking love the guy. But he was woeful yesterday. He was woeful against Brighton. There's certain entities that surround Tottenham Hotspur that either get an over-exaggerated critique or they get a free pass. And
you know why Bentancur gets... You know why Bentancur gets a lot of praise? You know why Bentancur gets a lot of praise? Because he's not Harry Winks.
Well,
that's the reason. That's the reason. That's the reason. Anything. No, because I don't think Harry Winks is rubbish. I'm not his biggest fan. But the thing is, though, right? Because Harry Winks is not there, that's why people love him. The same reason why they big up Højbjerg, who's no different to Harry Winks. No different to Harry Winks. And I stick by that comment. You know what I mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's no difference between Harry Winks and Højbjerg, yeah? And the only reason why we are bigging up Bentancur, right, is because he's not Harry Winks. Yeah?
But
because he's
the best thing since...
Pardon?
Do you think that Conte gets treated a little bit like Bentancur does?
Yeah,
where he gets a little bit too much of a. I'm not saying Bentancur gets too much for a free pass because I think generally he's been awesome, but he hasn't been good the last couple of games. But I'm just saying, like, do you think that Conte people aren't willing to get the knives out on an objective or a subjective basis for certain people, and Conte being one of them, as they are for other players?
Yeah,
I think that Conte deserves a little bit more of a reasonable critique than he gets. And I think it's because a lot of the fans go, if it's not going to be Conte, then who the fuck is it going to be? Therefore, we have to trust in him. Therefore, we can't really criticize him because he's the best manager on paper.
The fan base have got a bloody song for him already, and he hasn't done nothing yet. I think Conte's actually embarrassed. I think Conte's actually embarrassed by it. Honestly, I think they're actually embarrassed. It's so embarrassing. I'm sorry for Tottenham fans, but like I said, Mr. Box Office talks the truth, and that's it, bruv.
It's actually a really interesting point you're making.
Mr. Box Office talks the truth, and that's it, bruv. Yeah, right. They're so embarrassed. It's so embarrassing. You got other fans, other rivals, looking at it and thinking, "You're shouting for Conte at the moment. He's done nothing yet." Really? Oh, this is going to work out really well for Tottenham fans at the moment.
That's an interesting take, actually. Maybe Conte thinks he's a bit above his station as well because he's sitting there going, fucking what have I got to do? Like, imagine if I won something, I'd be a god here. But I haven't got to do fuck all when they already treat me like one.
And the thing is, though, it sums it all up.
That's
When
probably why
Mourinho was in charge,
he wants to win things here. That's probably why, because he'd be treated like a god if he won something here.
but this is the thing, though. Mourinho even knew this as well, because he sat there and said like, well, if I win a Carabao Cup, I'm a bloody legend already, bruv. So I don't need to say anything. I'll just prove my point.
I actually think I agree with you, Alex.
That's how deluded it was. That's how of an ego that guy had. That's why I couldn't stand him. But the thing is, though, he was so right, because he knew exactly what Tottenham fans. As soon as you win a Carabao Cup for Tottenham, yeah, Tottenham fans will love him. And the thing is, though, it's a bit hypocritical, because look what happened with George Graham, bro. Look what happened with George Graham, and he won a League Cup, and no one thinks about him anymore, don't they? You know what I mean? Does anybody think about us?
No, it took a while, but we were singing Georgie Graham's Blue and White Army. I remember being a part of that fucking that chant when I was about 12 years old or however old I was. We did give him a little bit of credit, even though he was Arsenal. We did give him a bit of credit.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we did a little bit, because he
was Sol Campbell in that celebration, by the way. Oh, have I touched a nerve? Sol Campbell, have I touched a nerve? Oh,
before you get into Sol Campbell, I want to go just get this super sticker from Gaguma. Thank you very much, Gaguma. We love you. Thank you so much for the support. So yeah, I mean, look, Sol Campbell is a different story, man. You can't really look. Even Graham was saying that he knew that Sol Campbell was leaving a year before he actually left Spurs. But you can't look, as much as he did what he did. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you look at him from a human point of view and a professional point of view, right? He left to go and win trophies, and what did he go and do? He won fucking trophies, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Bob,
he won.
He was my hero.
Trophies.
He was my hero.
Yeah, he was my hero. So
he was my hero. And I'm sorry, I'm not being funny. Sorry, Tottenham fans, right? But he went into Arsenal and won trophies, bruv. What do? We were in relegation zone, mid-table. So he would have done nothing afterwards, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
but you know what,
blame the guy.
You know what? I think he had a bit of a short-sighted approach to life, because the guy has forever felt like he's a victim. If you're listening to him on like Talk Sport, he blames certain narratives for why he can't get a management job and that. I just think he's the sort of character that he hasn't got any loyalty. He doesn't have any reverence for the bigger picture. It's all about Sol Campbell. And I get it. If winning something means a lot to you in your career, I understand that. But there's consequences for your actions. He didn't need to go to Arsenal to win. He didn't need to do it in the way that he chose to do it. He could have done it in a more open way, a fairer way, or he could have chosen a different club. He decided to do it in a certain way. And I think that the chickens have unfortunately forever come home to roost for him, because he thinks that he should be a manager. But I just think he's the sort of personality of a player who is solely focused on what's good for Sol Campbell and doesn't consider.
But if Harry Kane did that, bro, if Harry Kane did that, bro, would you be unhappy with him then? Still, would we still be unhappy with him? Because at the moment,
if Harry Kane left us,
at the moment, he's not a legend at the moment, Kane. He's not a legend.
Let's have that.
He's not a Premier League legend.
You can't say he's not a fucking legend.
He's not a Premier League legend, bro. He hasn't won nothing, bruv. He hasn't won no Premier League.
Yeah, but this is the debate we had before. Like, you're saying that Matt Letizia is not a legend. This is the debate you had before, Alex, where you were saying that Matt Letizia wasn't a Premier League legend because he never won a trophy. Yeah, but then I gave you the argument that Tammy Abrahams has won a Premier League. Tammy Abrahams has won a Champions League. You call him a legend? He's a fucking shit player.
Yes,
he's a fucking shit player. He's a shit player. He's not a legend.
He's won the championship, bro.
He was carried by that fucking Chelsea squad,
bro.
He was carried by that fucking Chelsea squad.
He's got credence, bro. He's won.
No. You cannot compare Tammy Abraham to Matt Letizia or Harry Kane. No, you fucking can't.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
All day long, bro. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. All day long.
Alex, how many players have won a trophy?
Pardon?
How many players that are currently playing football have won a trophy?
Well, Foden's won loads of trophies, by the way. Loads of championships, by the way.
Just one. Forget Phil Foden. How many? I don't know why you mentioned Phil Foden. How many players as a number that are between the ages of 17 and 38 that are playing football in the UK, how many of them have won a trophy? Is it like 500? 1,000?
Probably. I can't think of them at the top of my head.
Are all of those players legends because they've won a trophy?
Well, yeah, if they won the championship, yeah, Premier League, yes, they are, because they're going to be known as the championship. Yeah, yes.
Well, even the reserve goalkeeper for Manchester City that never actually touched the ball.
Maybe
is
not.
Is he more of a legend than Harry Kane?
But most of them.
Will he be remembered in 50 years' time?
Pardon?
Will he be remembered? Will the Manchester City reserve goalkeeper that won 6 trophies technically in the last 2 years, will he be remembered in 50 years' time?
No. But I remember people like Dennis Irwin, who's been in the championship team for Manchester United. I remember people like Gary Neville, that's got a lot of opinion and that has got opinion that people take note of. We've got people like Carragher, who's won a Champions League. You got Gerrard that won a Champions League. You got now Phil Foden, who's won a Champions League, won a Premier League. I mean, and that's got more credence to it as well. You've got Henderson, who's bang average, but still people take a note for him as well. You know what I mean? So, there's loads of players out there. You've got Vardy, you've got Drinkwater, who's won the Premier League. They're legends. They're legends.
They're not legends.
They're legends. They've won the Premier League. They're legends.
In 30 years' time,
they won the Premier League. They are legends.
They're not going to be remembered, Alex.
In 30 years' time,
no, they're fucking not.
No,
they fucking won't be. No, they fucking won't be, Alex. People will remember Harry Kane for being the top goal scorer in the Premier League.
You're truly Mr. Box Office talking the truth. Like I said all day long, they are legends. They are legends.
Alex, you need to deliver the post to the right housemate. You need to deliver the post to the right housemate. I'm telling you now.
This is going to be good.
They are not going to be fucking remembered. They are not.
Legends.
1 million. I will bet you money they will not be remembered. I'm telling you that for a fact. They won't be. It's impossible. They will not. Matt Letizia, right, was one of the greatest Premier League players never to win a Premier League trophy, right? Because he refused to go to Manchester United when he had the chance from Sir Alex Ferguson on multiple occasions because of his loyalty to Southampton, right? His boyhood club, right? So you cannot say that Matt Letizia was not a Premier League legend. If you go and watch Matt Letizia, he was one of the best players I've ever seen play in the Premier League or in English football, right? He was brilliant. It doesn't matter because he was loyal to his club, to his boyhood club. That you cannot say that he wasn't a legend. If you look at what he did in English football, he was phenomenal. If you look at what Alex Ferguson said in his book, Alex Ferguson said that he was one of his biggest regrets was not signing Matt Letizia because of how good of a player he was, right? He was one of his biggest regrets.
If Danny Drinkwater was walking down the street, would you?
Oh, this is the bit we had with Drinkwater, Sean. It was about fucking Danny Drinkwater. That Danny Drinkwater had won a Premier League title, right? Do you think anyone in 20 years' time is going to remember fucking Danny fucking Drinkwater? The only reason, Alex, he'll be remembered is for a meme. Alex, the only reason he'll be remembered is because of his name, because he will be a meme of drinking water when it's fucking hot. That is the only reason he will get remembered.
No,
here we go.
Was walking down Oxford.
Oh, here we go. I can't believe it.
No one's going to recognise it, or very few people are going to recognise him. Matt Letizia walks down that street, who won fuck all. He's going to be recognised. Harry Kane, in 20 years' time, your kids, Alex, will know the name Harry Kane, but they won't know the fucking clue who Danny Drinkwater was.
Exactly.
Well, he still would have more. He would still have a championship to his name, and Kane wouldn't have a championship to his name. So sorry, you know what I mean? And that would hurt him more. That doesn't
define him as being a legend. What's your definition of a legend?
It is a legend, bro.
No,
he's a Premier League legend.
No, it's
sorry,
not.
No,
fucking not.
No, I'm not hearing it, bro.
Alex, everyone in the comments,
sticking to my comment.
How about this one, Alex? Ross Barkley. Is he a legend, mate?
Yes, he is.
Ross Barkley, a legend. Deluded. You're fucking deluded.
Hurts, Danny. Truth hurts.
It doesn't. It's not the truth, Alex.
That's it. Simple.
That is literally delusion. That is delusion, and you need your medication.
Oh, here we go.
That is
gosh, the
complete
violin's coming
delusion.
out. Ladies and gentlemen, the violin is coming out for Danny. It's coming out and it's singing and it's flowing all day long, Mo. Here we go.
I've never met a man like you in my life, Alex. I've never met a man like you. You are quite unique. You are very a unique beast, bro. I love you. I love you.
It's funny.
Mad man.
I mean, look.
Mr.
Look at Amir, City, Premier League legend, best striker goals ever scored, loyal Southampton throughout. It's true. If you go and watch him, what he did for Southampton, he was brilliant. It was a shame he never moved to a big club. That he never won.
I'm not sure it was a shame. I'm not sure. I think it was quite poignant that he recognised that he was a big fish in a small pond and he was cool with it. I think it's something unique that he did. He didn't have the ego to think, or maybe he did. Whichever way you want to interpret it.
He loved Southampton, didn't he?
It's a rare thing. It's a rare thing for someone to be a one club man of his caliber.
Well, all I will say is that it will be eating him up inside Kane. If Harry Kane goes to Arsenal, it up inside. If he does not win a championship, he'll be going to England and he's going to look at Sterling and says, "Oh, I won the Premier League this year. What have you won?
What have you won? Listen, here's this, Alex. Right, here's this for you. Let me ask you. I'll put a scenario out to you. He's got 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say we do decent business, good enough business to keep Conte around for the next year in the summer, but not like business that is just game changing. And we're someone that, as Tottenham fans, we're still relatively split. Some people will be like, no, we've got a good chance. We're in a good spot. We've improved where we need to, but there's still an area of the fan base that's like, it's not quite good enough. We'll see what happens. And then next year we're challenging for Champions League. We're fourth, we're third, but we're ultimately nowhere near Man City or Liverpool again. And then the season runs round and Harry Kane still hasn't signed the new contract. He's got 1 year left on his contract, right? And the noise forever, as it always does, pops up again. What's Harry Kane's future? If Harry Kane ums and ahs and doesn't commit, does what Mo Salah's doing right now, does what Mbappe's doing or whatever, and then he fucks off for free, but he does it in the same way that Sol Campbell does. He doesn't go to Arsenal because that's unrealistic, but let's say he goes to Chelsea because Man City's a closed door right now. What do you think happens to Harry Kane's legacy at Tottenham if that kind of whole thesis pans out? That he doesn't sign a new contract, he doesn't commit, but he doesn't also force the move, and he ends up leaving for free, and Tottenham miss out on whatever we could have made, 100 million quid for the sale, and he goes to one of our rivals. Do you think Harry Kane is a traitor, or do you think Harry Kane is just doing what's right for Harry Kane and that he should still be remembered as a champion for Tottenham, but he was just doing what's right for Harry Kane because he needs to win something before he's too old?
I know what you're doing, Sean. I know exactly what you're doing there. Oh, I can't answer this question because you're going to hold me to this so badly, isn't it? I know exactly what you're trying to do, Mum. I know exactly what you're trying to do. No, Mum, I can't answer this question, Mum, because I know exactly what you're going to say.
Harry Kane, a legend of Tottenham, but just had to go off and do his thing or is he the bad guy? Is he a Judas because he fucked us around?
I can't answer this question because he's going to hold me to this, man. I know you, you cheeky guy. I know exactly. You got me on. I can't answer this question. I can't. I know what to answer, but I know why you answer this question. You're such a sneaky guy, bro.
I'm not going to hold you to anything, man. I ain't got the memory to remember what you said to you.
You know exactly why, man. It's just drawing on the Sol Campbell comment, isn't it? That's what you're drawing on.
I want to know if Harry Kane does something not quite as Judas-like as Sol Campbell, but something.
No. Honestly, I'll be angry with him. Yeah, I think it will hurt. Yeah, because we do not like Chelsea. We do not like Chelsea. We can't stand them. I would say that the only reason why I hate West Ham more as well. But I don't know which one I hate more, West Ham or Chelsea. So yeah, it would hurt
Chelsea more than West Ham, I think.
I hate Chelsea more than anyone. I hate Chelsea more than Arsenal, more than West Ham, more than Liverpool, more than Man City. I hate Chelsea more than everyone. But But Alex,
So,
I want to ask you, do you want to reply to Scott M's comment, mate?
what did he say?
I tried to defend
him at
Alex.
times.
Go on, Alex. You read it out. Go on.
I tried to defend him at times, but no defending him here. Absolutely ridiculous to claim that Barkley, Abraham, and Drinkwater are legends. Well, they are legends because they've won the Premier League. So I'm just going to stick to that point, Scott. Thank you for your comment, though, Scott. Yeah, thank you for your support, mate. You don't need to. You don't. Thank you for your support, mate. But like, mate, I honestly, I've taken on 7 people, like you say. You know what I mean? I've been on Bob Spurs TV and I've taken on 7, 6, 10 people. You know what I mean? I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, subscribe to Bob Spurs TV because it's a brilliant channel, by the way. You know what I mean? Big up to him. You know what I mean? He's a great guy. So I love him. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't really care, bruv. I'm here all day, all night. Like I said, Mr. Box Office is all it is for me. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like I said, I speak the truth. Like I said, like you know, everybody Kane needs a Premier League. He needs the Premier League. He needs the Champions League or the Premier League. FA Cup is going to be good for him. It's a token gesture for him as far.
So
as
you're
I'm
basically
concerned.
disregarding everything that Harry Kane's done in the game in English football, being nearly the record English goal scorer, nearly the record England goal scorer. So that means absolutely nothing. That doesn't make him a legend.
Ask Harry Kane that and what he's saying about that, man, bruv. Ask Harry Kane that. You know what I mean? He's taking.
You can say that, Alex,
at the end of the day, it's not just me that's saying it. He's saying this to himself, by the way. He's saying this to himself. Because if he was so happy at Tottenham, bruv, why has he not signed a new contract, bruv? Why are the rumours still spinning round? Why is the rumours still spinning round? Why is the rumours still spinning round about him leaving, bruv?
Who's he
if
going
he
to
was
go
so
to, Alex?
happy about it, why was he? If he's so happy, if he's so happy about Tottenham at the moment, so happy not winning trophies, yeah, and not winning the championship, yeah, why is he not signing a new contract? Why is the rumours still spinning around?
Harvey Elliott, he's won a Premier League title. Is he a Premier League legend?
Yep.
Sean, do you want to counteract that, mate? Do you want to counteract why Harvey Elliott is not a Premier League legend?
I mean, because he won't be known. Right? He won't be known. He's 19 years old. Well, has he won a trophy at Liverpool? I guess he has, right? But
I think
he spent 6 months with a broken ankle. Like, it's madness, mate. It's madness. There's more to the criteria of what makes you a legend of your sport than being a participant in a team that has won something. Like, there's more to it than that. There's more. It's ridiculous, Alex. It's like, I know you're trolling. You can't possibly believe
what. You can't trolling, bruv. I don't troll, bruv. I just come on the screen like I'm doing now. I'm making box office, bruv, man. That's an insult, bruv. If you want to troll, bruv, I go on Twitter, bruv, and I don't do Twitter all day long, bruv. You know what I mean?
When you say Mr. Box Office,
you know what I mean? I'm not a
like
you know what I mean? Sorry, no.
Where boxes are stored because your opinions need to be locked up and put away out of sight.
Oh, it's this guy. Look at this guy, man. Oh,
it is madness.
Oh, here we go.
He's 19 years old. He's done nothing. He broke his ankle. He's been out for 6 months. He might have won a participation trophy in the Carabao Cup, and you would put him on a higher pedestal than Harry Kane, purely because he happens to be an employee of a club that's done well whilst he was on the injury table. You're like, there's delusion, and then there's like delusion. And
in the record books, he's still going to be looked as a legend because he has won a Premier League. So he's a Premier League legend.
He'll be part of he'll be part of a long fucking list. A list that is so long it would take you all day to get from the top to the bottom of it. The only way his box office is if I fill in with Alex, there's a long fucking list of people that have won a trophy, and 95% of them are names that you'll never remember. Harry Kane will be memorable because he'll be, by the time he finishes, he'll be at the number one list of the Premier League top scorers, the FA Cup top scorers, the
no
Carabao Cup
trophies.
top goal scorers.
With
It
no
doesn't matter.
trophies.
But his name will be
No
at
Premier
the
League.
top of that list for
No
the next
Champions
30
League.
for the next 40 years. He won't get shifted down by the top 10. And so in 2060, when they're still showing the Premier, long after we're dead or whatever, they'll be showing the Premier League top goal scorers of all time, and Harry Kane's name will still be there. Harvey Elliott will be just a distant memory of a few people that once upon a time knew about this guy who played for Liverpool because he happened to win a Carabao Cup whilst he was injured. It's madness to think that he has.
No, it's not a legend of. No. I'm not talking about the Carabao Cup. No, that League Cup. No, I wouldn't say that. No,
he hasn't done anything. He's been so unimpactful for Liverpool. He's a good player with a lot of talent. Maybe in the future he'll be a legend if he does things in the future. But as of right now, to think that he has some, like, his name should be etched in some stone with a deeper line, deeper marking than Harry Kane, purely because he happened to have a winner's trophy. It's insane. And the fact that you think it's logical and has some kind of bearing in reality is really scary. It's really scary because I actually kind of like some of your opinions.
I don't think it's scary at all. I think I'm talking a lot of sense because the thing is, though,
no. You're definitely not talking sense.
Part of a team. No. You'll be part of a team that has won something.
You're saying
that is part of a
Alex, a guy who sat on the bench for a majority of his time during that title-winning season, right? He probably had like 5 appearances that whole season because of his injury, right? You're saying someone that contributed that little who won a title just because he had
Reece James is a big legend, the way.
No, hold on. Let me finish. Alex, let me finish, right? So you're saying someone who's had a minimum amount of appearances in a team that he hardly was part of, won a title, and he had the bare minimum amount of appearances to actually be accountable to actually having a Premier League trophy, a medal, right? You're calling that player a fucking legend. That is ludicrous. It is fucking ludicrous. It's absolutely damn right outrageous. You can say someone like that.
Insulting.
Yeah,
it's insulting.
It is. It's fucking insulting, right? It's ridiculous. You cannot say that person is a Premier League legend. That is ridiculous. You ask any professional in football and you say, who's the Premier League legend? Harry Kane, right? When he finishes his playing days, if he has won a trophy or not, right? Who's the legend? Harry Kane or Harvey Elliott? Who are they going to fucking say? They're not going to say Harvey Elliott or Danny Drinkwater because he did fuck all for the rest of his time in the Premier League.
Was the main person in that Leicester City team that won the Premier League. So he's a legend.
It was Jamie Vardy, mate. It was Jamie Vardy.
He was part of that midfield.
Jamie Vardy,
he was part of that midfield with Conte, right? That's the reason why Chelsea bought him.
And Mahrez. They were the 3 key players in that team.
Was it? But to my knowledge, it was Conte and Drinkwater in that midfield that won the championship. By the way, so yes, he is a legend. It was also Vardy, but it was Drinkwater as well. So I don't know where you're going with this again. What about
this one, Alex? What about this one? Højbjerg won the Champions League with Bayern Munich in 2013. So is he a legend for them?
Yep. Part of the team.
That is just funny. That is funny.
I've never known. It's insulting to be a part of this conversation.
And look, I need to say this as well. Reece James is a legend because he's won the Champions League as well. So, you know what I mean? Don't need to say any more there. You know what I mean? Champions League legend because he's won the Champions League.
Are we at 100 likes yet?
Let's have a look. I think we're
99 likes. Come on, somebody.
One more like, everyone. One more. Just one more person. Smash that fucking like. And also, how about this? Smash that like if you think Alex is deluded.
Oh, wait. It'll fucking go to 140. It's insane.
It's already going up. Smash that like if you disagree with Alex's comments about what legends are, because we all know that Alex is deluded. But
nobody knows I talk the truth and that's it. But if you want to agree with me, smash a like button. If you don't disagree with me, smash the like button and that's it.
Don't try and overlap. Danny said specifically, if you disagree withAlex, don't try and
it's already got up to 106, mate. I just want to get this super sticker from Gaguma again. Once again, where is it gone? Here it is. Guma, thank you so much again. You always support all the channels. You're absolute queen to everyone in the YouTube community because you are just amazing. So thank you so much for the super
It's the
sticker.
ha ha ha. She's laughing at what Alex said, I think.
She is, because she knows Alex is deluded. She agrees. She completely agrees. She knows that Danny Drinkwater is not a Premier League legend. She knows that Tammy Abraham is not a Premier League legend. And she knows Harry Kane is a Premier League legend.
Look at that, you've gone to 107 likes.
See, Alex,
this is a new tactic to get engagement. Alex let you say something and then say, if you disagree with what Alex has said, hit the like button.
This is a good one.
Lovely. I wish I could smack that like 1,000 more times to expand. Alex, mate, you have to change. You have to figure out some other avenue of opinion building. It's it's a weird one.
I won't change my opinion on this one. Like, I'm happy with this one. Unfortunately, I'm not changing it.
I think we're going to wrap up soon. So before we do, I want to ask you guys one more question. And you can whoever can take it away first, up to you guys. So I want to ask, do you think Spurs will finish in the top 4 this season?
I'm just going to go straight up the bat right now because I think it's a waste of time, this question. I don't care if we get top 4. How do you not care? Because it's not a trophy. That's why, bruv. And I'm here for trophies, bruv. And if I have to say it to somebody that said to me that after last year, I said I wanted top 4, even though because we sat Pochettino because we needed top 4. I know Terry Flores.
Would you rather finish 4th?
I said on the football terrace, yes, I wanted Champions League. You were right. If you want that trophy, bruv, go and take it, bruv, all day long, Terry. Honestly, you were right. Okay, I will give you your flowers next time, bro. Honestly.
Do you at least acknowledge the benefit of finishing 4th over 5th?
Huh?
Do you at least acknowledge the benefit?
No,
to a club
I don't see no benefit to Tottenham whatsoever because we are just going to get bantered at the Champions League like Arsenal will do next season.
So but you also at the same time acknowledge that we need to sign new players, better players, right?
Pardon?
So, but you do at least acknowledge that Tottenham need to improve their squad.
Yes, we do.
How do we do that?
We need better wing backs. Yes.
How do we do that?
We need to use the money, but like I said,
where
there are
does
players
the money
out
come
there.
From?
But the money, but the thing is though, if you're clever, if Pratty's such a don, like people keep on banging on about, because it was not difficult for Paul Mitchell to find players for cheap. It's not difficult for that guy that used to be at Lille. I can't remember who's Mourinho's best friend. I forgot his name now. To find good buyers out there. You know, it's not difficult for Leicester to find good players out there that people don't know about. So I'm sorry, we don't need to worry about that. You should be doing your due diligence at the moment.
It's easier to draw better players when you have more money to spend.
I'm not going to agree with that. No,
you're disagreeing with me. You're disagreeing with me that to have more money and to have more to offer better players is not an easier way of improving the team. Is that what you're saying? You're disagreeing with me on that?
I don't see the point of Champions League. I do not see the point of us getting Champions League. We are not good enough for Champions League. It is just a pointless exercise going to a competition that we're taking part in. Tottenham need to win trophies right now. That's the only way forward for Tottenham at the moment. We need to be trying to compete.
What does winning a trophy give you?
What?
What does winning the Carabao Cup get you?
Well, I agree about the Carabao Cup, but I'm saying about winning the FA Cup, winning the Europa League.
What does winning the FA Cup get? But if you finish 4th and you qualify for the Champions League, you get more money, which means more money to spend on players. You also can attract a better caliber of player. And then even if you don't quite do enough to succeed in the Champions League and you finish 3rd in the group, you still fall into the Europa League.
Like I said before, Tottenham couldn't cope with bloody Europa Conference League and Premier League. So why would they cope with bloody Premier League and Champions League next season?
Because Because we're able
Please
to buy
tell me.
new players. Because we can
get
buy
better
more
players,
players.
Alex.
Oh,
don't
so
understand
these
why you
great
don't want
players that
four.
you're thinking about are going to start so well and going to, change our team and revolutionize our
You can
team.
get better quality with top Premier League, Champions League football.
I agree.
Alex.
I would agree with you if the rule was you finish fourth, you qualify for the Champions League, but you have to also stay with the same squad. But that's not the point. The point of finishing fourth is that you get 35, 40 million quid more.
I'm sorry, but when you're saying that, when you're making comments like that Champions League's got a better chance of keeping Conte and keeping Kane, that's a pointless exercise. We are now going back to the fact that we need to try and keep them happy to keep them here. That is not a good strategy for Tottenham. Like I said before, if Conte's come to Tottenham because just it's about all Champions League and that's it, he's a mug. He's an absolute mug because that's what we were trying to do with Pochettino. Look how that worked out for us.
Hey, Alex, which player, if you could pick a single player a realistic player that doesn't play for Tottenham, realistic player, right, that you love, that plays for another team that we could sign in the summer, who would that be? That would improve us majorly in a certain position?
I don't know a lot about certain players outside of Europe because I don't really watch that much of Europe, but I do like the vibe from Inter Milan.
Okay, so De Vrij, right? Do you think our chances of signing De Vrij are increased or decreased based on finishing fourth or fifth?
I don't. It would. Because I think if
I don't know where to go with that. I don't know what to. Danny, help me, mate.
Mate, I don't think we can help. I think Alex is a lost cause, mate. I think he's a lost
I'm
cause.
talking sense. I think I'm talking sense.
I think he's just
I know you do. That's why I love you. Like it's not even like trolling. It's legitimate. It's legit.
Yeah.
I love you for it.
Let's ask you, Sean, right, before we
am I
talking
about the referee? Am I talking about the referee? Because that's all that Ty talks about.
Who?
Just to put it out there, because people call me Ty.
Who's Ty?
And I'm like, Ty of Tottenham Hotspur. And I'm like...
we are Arsenal Fan TV.
No, you're not the Ty of anything. You are the Alex of...
Mr. Box Office, that's what they call me, Bob. Mr. Box Office.
Hey,
That's what you call yourself, and I fucking love self-entitled nicknames. I love it. I'm going to start calling myself Sean Magic Butler. You can call me Magic from now on. I don't know why, but I'd like the nickname. From now on, it's Magic.
Sean, so I want to ask you, right, before we end it, and I'll give my opinion. What do you think? Do you actually think realistically we can get in the top four this season? We can finish in top four. Do you think that we've still got a chance?
We've still got a chance. We've still got a chance. But my head says no. My head says that we're not gonna. I think we're gonna struggle. And it's actually the first time I've said it. It's weird. If you go back and check the tape when we were struggling, I've been the most glass half full, person. I've always stood by. We're going to do it. I've had bets. I had bets in March, in February, January, in December. The bets of people saying that we'll finish fourth, above Arsenal, etc. I've still got those bets out there. But right now, is for the first time I am seeing tactical decisions and injuries and just if you're into the wine industry, there's a word called le terroir, which is like it basically means the sum of all influence. How do you get a nice bottle of red wine versus a terrible bottle of red wine? It's the sum of all influence. It's the climate, it's the year, it's the amount of sun, it's whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I think the terroir of Tottenham right now looks really fucking scary. So I don't think we're going to finish top four for the first time in a long time. I hope we can. We're still got a decent price. I think you get 9-4 on Tottenham doing it. But unless things change, unless Conte takes some risk, experiments. I know it's not great to experiment this late in the season, but the only way I can see us doing it is if we make some changes. And I don't think that he's going to do it. So at the moment, I'm going to say, unfortunately, for the first time this season, Danny, I'm not optimistic. I'm pessimistic, unless Conte takes some risk and recognizes that there is too much predictability about what we're putting out there every week, and he needs to change something. I don't know what that something is. I've given you 100 different things that we could do. Change the formation, keep the formation, but change the personnel, change the player-specific roles and requirements during the game. Whatever. There's 100 different things that we could pivot, and any one of them could be the right or wrong solution. But if we do what we did yesterday and we do what we did against Brighton with the same formation and the same team, I don't think we're going to do it.
I have to say this though, just to answer your question, like I think the two bang average teams, Arsenal and Tottenham, even Manchester United. I mean, they're absolutely awful, Manchester United. So for me, all those teams, well, three teams are not equipped for top four anyway. You know what I mean? So
Not now,
at
they're
the end of
not.
the
Not
day,
now, they're
it's
not. In
well,
the
they're
summer,
not,
we
they're
can
not, they're not, and I think they're quite far and away from it as well. To be honest with you, so Arsenal not that great. Like I said, they've had the whole season with no Europe, so you expect them to
Momentum's
do
with them,
well.
though, right?
Pardon?
The current momentum.
Well, there's no momentum at all, bud. Because the thing is, though, they can fall away as well. Because they're starting complaining about not having Partey and
I agree with
Thomas
that.
Partey and
Saka.
Tyranny as well.
Saka's
So
Saka's injured as well, right? So yeah,
well,
listen, I know that it's going to be
at the end of the day,
race to the
Saka's
bottom.
injured as well. So the thing is, though, and I think Arteta's not a very good manager. I mean, the thing is, though, I'm very confident in this anyway because I've got a brother who's an Arsenal fan as well, and he don't think that much of him at all. He's like Lee Gunner, my brother. He's quite straightforward because I've listened to Lee Gunner, and he's not fascinated about what's going on at Arsenal.
Lee Gunner always speaks quite truthfully about the situation. Like I like what he says. He always speaks
because he's been.
He says it how it is.
Saying my brother's saying the same thing that Lee Gunner's saying, and he's not copying what Lee Gunner's saying. He's been quite obvious. And I was sitting there after the transfer window in January. I said, okay, I can see your point now about Arteta now. That Arteta at the moment, that's only one injury away from it being an absolute disaster next season.
Alex, if you're looking for a reason to be positive about Tottenham's chances, it literally is that Arsenal are just as shit, and just as capable of throwing it away. I think it will be the lowest, or one of the lowest top four final points tallies. I think that Tottenham could probably do it with 67 points. That's how bad I think we are.
I'll tell you what.
That's how bad I think Arsenal are, and United and West Ham as well. I think we're all fucking useless. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's the worst top four race I've ever seen. I think, if I'm honest, in Premier League history.
But like I said, top four is
I haven't seen a worse one. But
top four is important, Alex. It's so important, mate. Stop saying it's not important.
Our own managers basically said it is a trophy right now. It is literally like winning the Champions League.
To keep them confident, to keep them.
It's not that. It's not that because he knows, Alex, how critical it is for us to improve our team, to bring in better caliber of players, because it's not essentially means we're going to spend more money, right? Let's have that right. It doesn't mean we're going to spend more money because we know what the ownership is like, right? We know what Levy's like. What it means is that for the same money you pay for a £20 million player, you can get a better quality of £20 million player. That's the difference, because a player
Will's about to be home. We can carry on if you want.
No, I would love to carry on, but I've got some things to do. So if he came on half an hour ago, I would have said, fair enough. But look, for me, I'm kind of with you, Sean. My heart is obviously saying we can do it. My head is saying I don't think we are going to do it. I think we're going to just fall just short. The only hope and confidence I have in it is what you were saying, is the fact that Arsenal are just as shit as us, if not. Because, they're just as shit as us, to be honest with you. They're just as shit as us, right? They, if anything, it'd be worse for them if they didn't get it, because they've had no season with any European football, right?
Totally agree.
A lot worse for them, right?
Honestly, like I said, Leicester City winning the trophy, and West Ham winning the Europa League, which I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. It looks really bad for Tottenham and Arsenal. Especially for Arsenal, if they don't get Champions League, especially, you know what I mean? Like the knives are out for. I shouldn't maybe not say that word, but you know what I'm trying to say anyway. Sorry if the term I'm trying to say. If Arsenal do not get Champions League, you know what I mean? Because, like I said before, sorry to interrupt you, Danny, but it's a truth, and that's it. And I'm sorry, I'm not afraid of Arsenal. I'm not afraid of Arsenal, and this is not me trying to be not horrible or anything like that, because I've got really nothing really against them. If I'm really honest with you, you can make it what you will, what I say there. The only thing I had an issue with is when I was on the football terrace, like I said, that guy came on after me, started bantering us and having a go, and like saying that, oh, we've got the best young team, and they all come out when they start winning. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
but Arsenal
well,
fans have always been like that, right? But look, the main reason I would hate to see Arsenal fans just talk absolute shit if they finish in the top four. So look, all I'm gonna say is that I hope that, well, obviously Saka's injured, right? So that's gonna be a big blow to them. We don't know how long he's gonna be out for because he aggravated an injury he already had, apparently, from what Arteta was saying. So if he's aggravated an injury, he could be out for the rest of the season. We don't know. It could be a couple of weeks, and that can be crucial in any running towards the end of the season. We've got like a month left. So look, at the end of the day, it's gonna, for me, I think it's gonna come down right to the last game, where it's gonna be between Everton and Arsenal and Norwich and Spurs. And it's whoever's going to get the luckiest fortune, the best fortune on the day, is going to come out on top. And we just have to wait and see what happens. At the moment, I'm not confident, but look, I'm going to say that it's still possible. It's still possible. We have to have that little bit of hope, because it mathematically is still possible. And like Sean said, the fact that with both teams going for it are fucking dog shit. So that's the only thing. That's the only thing we can go by. And before we go, I just want you guys to tell us what's going on with your channels next, and where you're going to be, when are your next shows. So, Sean, when are you next having a show, mate? What's your next show?
I think it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday this week on Spurs Talk Show, at Spurs Talk Show on your YouTube if you're looking for it, guys. And yeah, it's going to be usual shit. It'll be like a somewhat review, somewhat preview Leicester game, and then just banter, a bit of fun in games. I have the games that I always do, which asking controversial questions, same old stuff. But I'd love it. I'm on the march to 900, guys. I think I'm on. What am I doing now? Let's have a look. 891. I need 9 more people to get me to 900. It would mean the world if the 100 people that are still watching who haven't, if any of them haven't already hit the subscribe button. I'd love it if you could.
Please, everyone, go over there, because Sean's shows are very different to all the other Spurs channels that are on YouTube. They're very fun, and he has a lot of different kind of content that no one else does. So please go over there and subscribe to him, because he is brilliant, and it is a good laugh when you go on. So please do, if you haven't done already. And Alex, before I get to you, I just want to read the super chat, because we haven't actually come to it and I just missed it. Tim Man 007, big up, man. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, brother. I hope you're well. He's saying, do you think West Ham will bend over versus AFC like Chelsea? My opinion is, I think probably yes, because right now, if you look at their defense, they've got no centre backs now. Craig Dawson, he got a red card today, and he was their last remaining centre back. And I know they played well, but they've got injuries galore at the moment. So I think what they're going to focus on is getting that Champions League spot by winning the Europa League. And I think they're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a subsidized team in that game when they play next week, because they really. I think right now, I think if it was me and I was the manager, I'd be going for that trophy. That's because obviously they still have to try to be competitive to stay in a European spot for next season. So they are going to balance it, but I think their primary focus right now is probably going to be on the Europa League, because it's a chance of a trophy, a big trophy they've never won before in their history, and it's Champions League football, which will be better than what we would have if we don't get top 4. So yeah, I think there's going to be an element towards that, which is going to be shit for us. And Tim, man, like I was saying earlier on the stream, I'm not sure if you caught it, but I think where Arsenal will drop points, if they drop any points, it's going to be Everton and Newcastle. Everton and last game of the season, because they're fighting for relegation. And I think it's going to come down to the last game as well with them, because Burnley are picking up points, so they need to pick up points badly. So yeah, it's going to come down to the last game, and I think Newcastle away is always a tough game. So Sean and Alex, just a quick one. What do you think very quickly on this one?
I totally agree myself. So I'll be really quick. Alex, I know you want to come in. I think that 100%. I'm worried about West Ham, having distractions. I mentioned it earlier, though. I do think that West Ham need to be careful, because whilst Alex has got this uber confidence that West Ham could go on and win the Europa League, if they don't win the Europa League, if they do get knocked out by Frankfurt, if they do get knocked out by Leipzig or Rangers in the final, then if they take their eye off the ball with the league, they could be out of European football altogether next season, or at best be in the Conference League. So if they focus too much on the Champions League, on the Europa League with the desire to win it and then be in the Champions League, and fair play to them for how well they've done, but I don't think they're going to win it. And if they don't win it, then they're going to need to rely on their league position. So I really hope that they put on a good performance, albeit they'll be probably tired from their first leg effort. So it's going to be a weird one. It'll be a great game to watch. And who knows what the outcome will be. I hope they don't bend over, though. I hope they put in a decent performance. I thought they did a decent performance today against Chelsea. They were unlucky in the end. So
yeah, they were.
More of the same, in my opinion.
West Ham won't bend over for anybody. Well, that didn't sound right at all. That did not sound right at all. No. West Ham will not let they won't.
They'll give him a fight, but
they will give him a fight. And like I said before, they're a team that have got pride, and they will battle hard against Arsenal anyway. I don't think we should be worried about them anyway. Like I said, we should just worry about our own game at the end of the day. If they really, really are bothered about Champions League, you know what to do: get 70 points or more. Simple as that. And like I said, I'm going to keep on saying it. So until I'm blue in the face, maybe I need to stop repeating myself. Just go to my channel. By the way, just so everybody knows, it'd be very nice if because I'm up to 199. Nearly up to 200. So if anybody would like to subscribe,
criminal that you're only on 200.
I want to push as much as I can as far as I'm concerned now, because I would like to, make it.
Can I just add something to that, Alex? Yeah, for people who don't know, Alex doesn't tend to promote himself or his channel very often, if not at all, and he should do, because it is very good content what he has. So if anyone hasn't, please go over there and just smash that subscribe, because you will see he does break down the game, and he explains his thoughts and really interacts with everyone in the comments. So please go over there, because it is really, really good, and it's very underrated. And it's just a shame. And I keep telling Alex he needs to promote himself more all the time, but he doesn't, because he is deluded. But he needs to do it more. He needs to do it more.
Office.
So I want to say to everyone as well before we go, thank you everyone for joining us today. You've been unbelievable in the comments today. I mean, I haven't been able to get through. Me and Brian haven't been able to get through all of them because there's been so many comments. So I appreciate everyone, and if we didn't get through them, I'm sorry. We apologize. It is always better to do the super chats, because we can actually bring them up, and it does really help the channel as well, so we can grow and we can provide better content and stuff like that. So I just want to say, final thought, I think top four is not completely over. It's going to be even more difficult. I think we need a fucking miracle to get top four right now, but it is possible. It is possible still. So until it's mathematically not possible, then there's a glimmer of hope, and that's what I'm going to say. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we're out here, guys. Come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.
In Conte we somewhat want to see some improvements from.
Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, Alex is deluded.